Welcome to Champagne Football Lemonade Banter. This season is brought to you by the Lightweight Athletic Club.
Whatever you're watching us on, please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Actually, years and years ago.
I hear about a few things like that, where things happen and players get pushed
That's
away,
a
or
shame,
they.
man. Shite. Like,
Being in football long enough, I've seen it all.
You've seen worse.
These things
That's it.
happen.
And but I think it's for me. It's just treat people the right way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if that is the situation and you've decided this person's not for me, just tell them, look, mate. I thought this was going to be the outcome. I thought you were going to perform at this level. From what I've seen, you can't get to that level, so I need to let you go and find someone who
If
can.
a gaffer just said to me, honestly, look, mate, honestly, you're shite.
Aye.
And I'm like, you know what? You're an arsehole, away, raging. See, but
I agree with that.
See, but a month
Would you rather that?
But a month or 2 months' time, like, you know what? I'm glad they said that though, because I got to figure out my arse, or he just didn't like me, and I went and found a new club that I prefer. Rather than being like
100%.
getting led along, you're a sub. Why is you not playing, mate? Or he tells you that shit like, you're doing well. Just keep doing what you're doing. You might like you just wasted my life.
100%.
Just tell me I'm shite, or you don't like me, and
I agree.
I might not like you, but in 10 years' time, I go, actually, I'm glad he done that.
But do you know what? For me, you're not going to like everyone, but see if people are honest with you, you'll respect them. And I think that's the
100%,
biggest thing. It's the respect aspect, because you're not going to like everybody. Even some of your teammates, you might not particularly like, but you respect each other.
Yeah.
I always have this conversation with I think would you like to go into management? Like, be honest with someone. But there's always that. Well, why come a lot of managers aren't they? Like, do you need to keep the players on side? Like, is that like a
There's
big
a
thing
lot
when
of
you're a
ta-
manager?
there's a lot of
Like, it's not
strategic
just a
thinking.
case of Sparky, you're shite. You're not playing. Oh, fuck, I might need you next week. I need to tell you that. I need to tell you that.
Oh, the window's not coming for a while. If I lose him now, if something happens to our striker,
So they need to
then
play
we
the
need
game a
somebody.
wee bit.
You have to be strategy.
But I think playing the game could also be, Sparky, you've not been doing this for the past few weeks. I need you to get better at this in order to have a chance of playing. Because then you go away from that thinking, cool, I know what I need to work on, and I've still got a chance. So that when that moment does come down the line, they can come back and be like, Sparky, I've seen you've been working on X, Y, Z after we spoke. There's your opportunity.
You'd rather that. Sure.
Then you're on board.
100%,
Do you know what I mean?
of course,
It's just, I think there's always that's still the truth. You might think you're shite, but if you get better at this, you're going to be less shite.
Fair enough. I've had that a few times.
Have you had managers that have been passive aggressive or have played mind games, and you're like, what the fuck is that?
Loads. Like, I remember,
You hear about Mourinho that just wouldn't shake players' hands and shit like that, yeah?
Nah, there's been loads. Like, Nigel Clough used to do it.
Did Nigel
pretty
Clough,
well.
did you?
I had Nigel Clough. He signed me at Sheffield United, mate. He was bonkers, but like he was nuts. But he had me on toast. Like I was 21, I think. Just came from Livingston down to Sheffield United, so I was a bit like fucking hell.
Was that League One
Aye.
Championship?
They were League One at the time.
Yeah.
Aye, so I was a bit like Nigel Clough, like wow, and he just battered me all the time. I think one of the cups that we're going to talk about, I'm sure my first goal, I'm sure it was like Mansfield.
That was Mansfield.
And he come out in the press and he said something like, "Oh, fucking, that's the worst performance I've ever seen for a goal scorer." I just scored the winner to go through in the
How
cup.
did you deal with that? But
He
when he said that, did you
Do
think?
you know what, mate? I was quite thick-skinned there. I have always been like, if someone says something, I didn't really let it get to me, mate. Like, unless it's, I don't know. It's quite a weird one because I was shite myself. I'm like, he was like, we'd walk into a room, like, he maybe not say much, but you'd know he was in the room.
Aye.
Like, he had that sort of aura about him.
But did
which
he have
was
that
really
point
good.
of it? He gave you, obviously, you've just scored, you've bagged, you're buzzing, negative comment. So when he said something positive, was it not like fucking yes?
Aye. So it was weird, mate, because we went on really good cup runs that year, and he would start me in all the cup games against like the Prem teams and that, but I wouldn't really start that many in the league. So it's like wee things always just like, does he not like me? Does he like me? But I remember like older players always just say like, he really likes you. He's just on you.
Yeah, that power on you.
He's just on you.
Aye.
Aye.
What about, did he make you play cricket?
Aye.
I've heard about that.
Aye.
What?
Aye, I've heard Clough. Clough
He
makes
loves
people
it.
play cricket.
He was honestly, mate, some of the stories. Honestly. Aye, before training that his pre-season that were mental. It was just him and his two assistants. Like, he used to hate sports science guys and that. Like he just would go to like a park and he'd just be like, kind of like his mate. I'm saying his mate, like it was his mate Garns. Like the two assistants to have their tops off in that. Like just the three of them bowling about with their tops off in a random park, and he'd be like, right, go and touch that tree, touch that tree over there, and just come back. So everyone would just be sprinting around trees. They'd come back. There'd be no times, like no distances, anything like that. It just used to be
That's a bit of a power trip.
proper
surely.
old school.
That's
Isn't it?
quite
But
funny,
he
man.
was good, mate. The boys loved him because he was brilliant. Me like days off in that. And like if you were on Saturday, like see Thursday, like kind
Thursday?
stuff, stuff like that. Standing. He would give so many days off.
The boys would go, where are we going?
He would give loads of days off, but boys loved it. But worked hard
Obviously,
for
you love it. See you Thursday.
So would it always be the manager's choice if you'd had a big win? He'd say, have 2 or 3.
But sometimes he would like kind of like the assistant would say to one of the players like, here, if you win the day, like he's off till
How good.
And the run spreads around the
Straight away, all the boys are talking.
I'll celebrate the call. Yeah,
but he was brilliant, mate. He was mad though.
Class. We'll get into all that. We'll start off with the results from the weekend. No better place to start than your game. 2 each away at Rockdale. Talk us through the game, boys.
You were saying, Sparky, how you're surprised how shite Rockdale were. You couldn't believe they won last year.
You put me on the spot. I'm only just here. I'm getting abused. No, I was. I wouldn't say I was surprised, mate, because I didn't come into the league expecting anything. Like I didn't expect it to be unbelievable standard. I didn't expect it to be terrible.
Aye.
I didn't really know anyone that had sort of played in the league or spoke to anyone to see like what teams are like. But I'd got here maybe just 2 weeks ago now, and the boys had obviously spoke a lot about Rockdale, saying that they've been up there and that they're a good team, like expect a battle, and fucking rightly so. A couple of minutes into the game, big centre half, knee right into the back of my back. I thought, oh, here we go. I was hobbling about for the rest of the game, but they were good, mate. I thought they were a good team, like well organised, like passed the ball. We played pretty defensive for most of the game, but like I said in the interview after the game, probably could have won the game with the chances. Like I had a couple of chances, a couple of other boys had good chances.
Did you see the highlights?
Yeah,
could have been 4 all.
Yeah, it
could have been anything.
It looked like a good game, to be fair.
Yeah.
The keeper made a great save early on. You put one of the boys through.
Aye, that's
one
right.
on one save.
Could he have squared that too?
Maybe, aye. But saying that, being a striker, he's
You're
probably
going to try and score it.
Inside the box. You'd rather that, right?
You got an assist as well, didn't you?
Aye, for the second one.
He did, huh? Goal and an assist.
Bonus, man. You
I don't got anything.
Who was taking the pens before he turned up?
Good question.
I know, I didn't even ask, to be honest, mate.
I mean, it just would have been you.
Won the penalty.
Yeah,
so
it would have been him.
Let me take it.
Look, I probably would have said I wanted to because I like the idea of having the responsibility.
Yeah.
Defenders can't take it.
No, yeah,
Not a chance.
Probably Louis Curry, I reckon.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
He was
I reckon
one,
Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was Rockdale away is always a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Especially
The fans in that were good. Like it was
Rockdale's probably
Good atmosphere, eh?
Rockdale and Sydney United have usually probably got the
two best
in terms of they've usually got a decent crowd for
they were good.
the NPL level.
Yeah.
It's usually good. But what about yourself, lads? How are you looking?
Do you know what? I reckon until we got him and Grimaldi, we were thin. I think now we've got an actual team where you look at our 11, 13, 14, and you go, that's a good team.
What about the Portuguese lad? Who's that?
Oh, yeah, Gonzalo. He hasn't obviously started. How many preseason games did you play? Just the one.
Yeah.
He's only had a few minutes, but I think particularly having a 9 and an experienced 9 and
Yeah,
having
I
that
think massive
confidence.
Yeah, of course.
And I was saying, he won't know, but I was saying the energy within the group, even in games and warm-ups and within getting together on the pitch, has shifted immensely because of him. Just that experience and just knowing, because what was happening pre-season and whether you could see it against Rockdale or not, is just having that confidence that when you're under the pump or under the press, that you can just clip it into his chest or clip it into him and he'll stick someone and bring boys into the game.
Yeah.
Whereas before that, we had boys that are good but are just young. They're not a number 9 like him.
Yeah.
Where you've got that confidence knowing if I clip it, it's not going to be a big centre back coming over the top and then a second ball turning into a scrap. You know that if you give it to him, we can retain the ball higher up on the field. I just think having that now and having him with his experience gives more confidence to the group. You know what I mean?
I'll give you that 100 quid later.
No, it does make a big difference. NPL, I mean, all over the world, 9s are the difference makers. But I think NPL, if you look at like Roy O'Donovan Olympic, with he scored 20 odd goals, Euro scored like 30 odd goals for Rockdale. I think there's always that number. It's a bit of a difference maker. The only thing was in Marconi though last year. Marconi had goals pretty much across the whole club. Yes, he scored 20 to be fair. But they had a few goals popping over, whereas Rockdale relied so heavily on Euro, which again, he scored again.
Yeah.
He does his class, man.
Great finish.
He's a good player.
Pass was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's not going to miss many, to be fair to him. Yeah. But yeah, big point for, I mean, I say a big point for St George, but you boys said potentially you could have nicked it.
2-0 up.
I know.
Half an hour to go. Had a couple of better chances than that as well, I'd say. First half I had a chance, put it over the bar, like we scored that, we go on it. Yeah, I'd say so. But They had
small margins, isn't it?
Aye.
Especially when you're playing against a team of that quality. It's like
I think if you took Manny to the side and said, "Would you take a point?" He'd shake your hand
100%.
straight away.
Yeah, of course you would.
When I say take a point, first game against the team that had won the
Away
league
from home.
away.
yeah.
We've only had our core group the last 10 days.
Yeah, yeah.
So give us 4 or 5 weeks. We'll be. We'll be.
Good. Other game to look at from was Marconi and Blacktown City. Mental game as well. Blacktown
Did
City
look
one
a bit
shot on
mental.
target, nicked it in the 95th minute,
Aye.
and had 10 men.
10
Blacktown
men.
City.
Uh-huh.
But unfortunate for Marconi to be fair, because I think it looked pretty comfortable up until that point.
I agree, but I think that if you score so early, like yes, it scored after
That was
3
like
or 4 minutes.
wasn't it? Yeah.
You score so early and the game's at 1-0 till the 95th minute, there's always a chance.
Yeah.
So I think that Marconi obviously need to have done a bit more when they were 1-0 up. You leave yourself always open to
Had to kill a game off.
to somebody getting back into it if it's 1-0 in the 95th minute.
And Blacktown City will be interesting. We've got Blacktown City this weekend actually, but they're so powerful going forward usually.
Yeah.
But I don't think they don't have the Danny Choi. Don't think Danny Choi was available.
Pre-season we played them. Marky wasn't here. He was on the bench, so I don't know if that's an issue that he's carrying with his body.
Yeah, okay.
Did Mitch Malia play? Was
I
Mitchie there?
think when he scored, I seen him celebrating. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but I don't know if he started. I don't know.
What was the send-off? 2 yellows?
Jared
or-
McKinley. Was it a straight red, Jared?
It was.
Oh,
Straight- It was
okay.
like I only seen a clip from social media. The lad went down the byline and he's just cut him
okay.
last man. I think.
Last man it was, aye.
You thought Marconi would have held on then, considering they
10
conceded
men,
in
no?
stoppage time.
Then
Did
that's
they
it.
win it last year?
They won
grand
the final.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
aye,
grand
so
finals.
won the-
aye, it's different.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the
Aye.
American one.
Aye.
They had that in the USL.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse Cup is
Yeah.
called.
Well, yeah. I mean, I always consider the team that wins the league the most consistent, the best team.
Aye,
Rockdale.
right.
It's just
Aye, we spoke about that last week with Peter and Marco as well.
Yeah.
But look, it's
what did they say?
they said, look, they agreed what we said, seen it from our point of view, but they said, look, at the end of the day, what did they say actually? I've completely forgot what they said, Chaz. Help me out
Sorry,
here.
I'm not listening to you. I was
They,
seeing it
basically,
for Mitch
they
Malia
seen it as, like, they agreed that at the end of the day, they won Rockdale.
They see that as the Champions League.
their look at it was basically they asked us who won the grand final in next year.
Oh, that's
and
right,
the
so they
answer
did.
was Blacktown City.
Mm.
And they said who won the league that year?
Mm.
Nobody knows the answer.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
but my opinion of that was, I just feel like in Australia, there's so much celebration of the grand finalist winners. So naturally, in your brain, you're forced to remember that because the photo on the NPL website is the grand finalist winners.
It's in the big stadium in Sydney, Western Sydney. They
Aye,
play.
it's
Yeah,
a
it's
proper
just
final. So like naturally, you're going to remember that as they're because they're called the champions.
Aye, they are.
So you're going to forget who wins the league those years. But like I understand it from both point of views. It's Australia, that's how they do things. So, and on that note, did you see the thing we got announced? NST, the name.
no.
It's small, 2 hours ago. The Australian Championship. It's called.
Oh wow.
Just got announced about 45. Oh, about an hour ago, an hour and a half ago.
That's
So it's getting
interesting.
called the Australian Championship.
Mitch
Okay.
Malia never played.
You never played?
No.
Oh right. So
Never come off the bench either?
Nah.
Oh, there you go. I'm talking a lot of shite.
For a change.
For a change, aye. Okay.
No, I lie. He did come off
Oh,
the
there you go. Big man's back.
Fucking hell.
What a pundit on road.
bench.
yeah.
And the 62nd minute he came off the bench.
I thought I seen him celebrating. He's a cracking player, Mitch Malia.
Mm.
So then, well, who do I? Sydney Olympic. Sydney Olympic won 2-1 at St George. Other St George. Did you play them in the pre-season? No.
Nah.
A wee derby.
No, I don't know when that is.
No, St
That's
George derby. Aye.
That's not. Is that the biggest derby? Like, or
What do you reckon? The
biggest
boys
question.
were saying it's Rockdale.
Rockdale.
Yeah.
St George versus Rockdale's a derby as well. Aye.
Yeah,
St George,
yeah.
St George.
Yeah,
Aye, it's
yeah.
just because it's the same name.
Because it's the same
Yeah.
name. It sounds like it should be a derby.
aye.
Yeah.
Well, it's still classed as a derby, isn't it?
Oh, I assume so, aye. But I'm just saying it sounds like it should be a derby just
Aye.
because of
Yeah.
names.
The same area.
Right next to Rockdale, isn't it? That I haven't played
aye.
at their new stadium.
Barton Park.
Whatever
Barton
the
Park.
new grass
There you go.
pitch.
Oh, it's synthetic.
It's grass, isn't it? The
Oh,
new.
nice. I can't remember. We put it in pre-season.
No, there's synthetic and there's grass
I was gonna
pitches
say
at
that.
Barton Park. There's both. It's like quite a big complex. So
Aye.
there's,
Like there
there's
either.
a few pitches.
It's first year up. So.
So we'll bring Mouldies and studs, mate. Never know.
For
Surprise!
Friday, he's ready for Wollongong on Friday.
Friday night, will
Yeah, yeah.
He's playing at one
Forward to that.
stadium.
Yeah,
Aye.
that'd be good.
Big
Have you ever
crowd.
played at that stinking other place?
That's
Albert
what. That's
Butler?
football.
They've got the best venue
worst.
and the worst.
Oh, they've got a
Yeah.
massive stadium, mate. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's too big to fill, of
looks
course.
nice, aye.
But then
Oh,
you've
it's very
got
good, yeah.
literally a dog and duck park on the side of the road.
Terrible.
Do you know?
Terrible.
This is a bit off topic, but Linwood Park, MacArthur Rams plays getting relayed, right? They played Hills United at that Albert Butler.
Why?
Don't know.
Over the weekend.
Just at the weekend there.
It's
MacArthur
fucking
Rams
crap.
played their home game in Wollongong.
Yeah, right.
That is bizarre.
Aye, so I thought it was completely outrageous as well. But supposedly you're allowed like a 30-kilometre radius to move the game if you can't play at your home stadium, and they've picked fucking
That seems like
Who
a
was in
stitch-up.
charge of that
I know.
decision?
somebody that was
Some
obviously
guy lives in Wollongong, obviously.
Yeah.
aye, try to obviously swing things in their favour.
Yeah.
But
You know what? When the fixtures come out, that's one of the first things I look at is when we play Wollongong because it's luck of the draw.
yeah,
You could, I think 2 years ago at Arpia, we had them at round 1, Wollongong away, perfect, immaculate pitch.
Aye.
Years ago, I look and I go, oh, for fuck's sake, because you've got a mid-season
Aye.
because they play at the same place, the rugby league,
Oh, God.
isn't it? Isn't it? Don't the
I don't know
rugby
if
league
it's-
team play there or whatever? So they've either got that.
Oh
or
yeah,
the-
yeah.
good
Right,
at
yeah.
Aye.
So yeah,
But the
fortunately,
Albert
we've got 'em.
Butler's terrible. It's open. There's no protection. There's wind
Nothing.
flying through. It's next to the motorway. The pitch is crap.
Yeah.
Why have they
Drive.
got the big fancy stadium then? What's that for?
Oh, that's their actual. They get to use that, but then halfway through it clashes with another sports team.
So if it lands on the rugby league, who has the priority,
Aye.
they say fuck off to Albert Butler.
aye, gonna say-
Yeah, well, pretty
Aye,
much.
right.
Yeah, I think it's
Oh, right.
yeah. Oh, we've got win. It's all right.
Aye,
You're all right, big
Stadium,
stadium,
huh?
man. You're all right. Any excuses
Thank
this
God.
weekend, lads? Then you'll be playing well this Friday. Then
I think everyone's no niggles. Everyone's fit. We're still waiting for our captain to come back. Tarek, he's
Yeah.
important, so hopefully he's ready to go within the next week or two. But I said to Marc, don't know how strong Wollongong will be this year, but I just think coming off of, I think I noticed within the group a heightened sense of positivity. You know, when we came in and did everyone was in a good mood. We were
Yeah.
playing handball or whatever and doing a little debrief that we do after the games with Manny in the media, well, one of the media rooms we've got opposite the pitch. And I noticed that the group felt elevated, getting a point, even though it felt like we should have won. So I feel that there's good confidence coming into Friday. Yeah,
good.
I think we'll be good.
okay.
It's
Well,
a good time to move on then to the Wollongong game.
we skipped the Olympic game. We'll talk about
Oh, so we did. Sorry, get excited.
that. There was 2 cracking goals in that
Aye.
game. Casella's free
I
kick,
saw that.
screamer.
Did you see the goal
I've
for
seen that.
And then
the
Park
volley?
House-
Parkhouse's half volley was a
Park
joke,
House as
man.
well. Olympic. I mean, that's another park. It's not great to play at Belmore. Not great. It doesn't matter when you get them in the time of the season. It's
Is
very
it grass or Astro?
grass, but again, it's shared with rugby.
Rugby.
Similar to the one we're playing on Friday, big,
Yeah.
but
It's not great.
whenever you get it, it's shit, isn't it? It's just
It's not great, man. And it's, I mean, it must be frustrating for Olympic. Sorry, that's their home pitch. Do you know what I mean?
I'd play
And
it all
they
the
usually
time.
sign quite well. So you've got boys who have played their ex-A League or they play at a good level.
Yeah.
And they're just getting on that pitch, which is very difficult to play on it. But good result for Olympic. Obviously, need to get off to winning ways because they've
100%.
always got. So obviously, Sparky, I don't know how much you know about the clubs, but Olympic are one of the bigger clubs. They're in that Australian Championship coming up, but they've not been very good the last couple of years. I think they won the league in 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 or 4
3 years ago they
it
won
was,
the
eh?
league.
the 2022. It was when I was at Blacktown, the last game of the season. We were first, they were second. We only needed a draw to win the league. They beat us,
Ah,
and that was the year we won the grand final. Yeah,
right,
so
okay.
So they're a big club, but in the
Yeah.
last 2 years they finished 9th or 10th. So
Yeah.
very big drop off. So this is a big year again for them to get
Ah,
their act
always.
together. St George, the St George. I don't know enough about them. They've signed quite a lot of players. New gaffer as well. Yeah, don't know how they'll go.
No
But
idea.
I've not seen enough of them to make any judgment. And then we look at the Appia game. Well, you can tell us a bit about Appia game, obviously.
3
ex-Appia.
pens. It was a bit of a weird one. I spoke to Temba. I gave him a hard time because he gave away a pen, but I don't know. They've got new players. They're playing a back 3. They haven't played a back 3 in however long I know. We were as a back 4 the whole time I was there. So, did you see it? Any of the highlights?
No.
What do you think?
It was interesting just because Appia went 3-1 up, and then within what 3
They
or
scored
4
from
minutes,
kickoff, I think.
Aye,
That's what it
is.
straight
Yeah,
from kickoff, and then they get another penalty.
Yeah.
It was just quite a bizarre game. Like it just seemed a bit mental because I think it was 4 minutes after they went 3-1 up. It was 3-3.
Yeah.
You've got Appia last year. Remember, you lost what was the first game of the season?
6-3.
6-3. You lost.
Blacktown away.
Some game that.
I know, mate.
There's a lot of goals this weekend, to be
Aye,
fair.
there was a lot of goals.
A lot
Is
of
it
goals.
lot of draws
in this
too.
league?
I know. No, you're back, big man. Aye.
That'll be the opposite.
No, there's a lot of goals, mate. Aye, like there's a goals right across the league, but same as I think most lower leagues. That it sounds bad, but there's a lot of mistakes.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? And then you do have quality as well. So mistakes are there, but your
they
quality's
get
there. So if you do a
punished,
mistake,
aye.
you'll get punished very quickly. And it tends to be the big money gets spent on the centre forwards.
Yep, the
Know
number
what I'm
one
saying,
man.
Oh, that's good.
No, obviously they punish you for it. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of goals and there's a lot of like what was that? So 3-3, 2-1.
2-1, 2-2, 5-0 obviously, another 2-2.
Oh, did you see the keeper mistake for the?
Oh,
I
bless
don't want
him,
to talk
aye.
too bad. I know.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Jackie Bramble.
But actually, I reckon that's though, like, he's been told
Overplay.
he has to play a certain way. And he's got it, and he's
right
looked
before,
up.
but mate, right before that moment, they nearly score.
I know.
Who did?
That's
Mariners?
Mariners- no,
Did
Man-
they?
Man, they
Manly.
almost scored, aye.
Oh,
Manly
you're
will
right. It
score.
was a shot, and
The
then
shot,
it went.
and then they get the
yeah,
goal.
It's a big
yeah.
chance. It's probably a bit of a sitter, to be fair. And you can get that moment, right? Just settle down a wee bit, wee man.
Aye.
Again, if you've been forced to play away, again, I'm not against that either. If that's how they want to build up, that's how they want to build up. But look at Haps.
It does.
What do you
Get your
think
foot through it.
from a keeper's perspective? What's you know how they like to have a defender roll the ball to the keeper then flatten off?
Yeah.
What are they? How have you seen that as a keeper over the
look,
years? For
We don't
playing
do it.
out.
Like, we don't do it, but I can
know what I mean?
understand the
Yeah,
concept behind it, because then you can go either way. If the keeper plays to one side and they're going to press, they're going to cut off the pass back to go that way. Whereas the keeper can almost move forward centrally until the pressure comes and can go either way, really. So that's why it's done. But I mean, it's just depends.
I get
on
the idea,
styles,
but when it costs goals, right?
I know. But then I think the flip side of that is if you look at it, say it happens 100 times and they concede one goal from it.
Aye.
Like,
You see it at the top level anyway.
100%, man.
Yes.
And that's the thing. It's just the way football is now. Is everybody wants to play and play and play and play and play.
Yeah.
So it almost takes a wee bit of the decision making of a goalkeeper away when they have the ball at their feet, because they're told this is the rotation and this is what's going to happen. So you need to play the pass there. But then if that pass isn't there, it's like, what now?
No, but I know, but I think that's when players need to take ownership of not
I
being
agree
such
completely.
robots. Like, that's not on. What do I do now? Well, fucking, what's in front of you, mate? Well, there's a space now. So if he's closed that off, there's obviously space somewhere else.
100%.
Flip
I
it,
agree.
play in there, play around them. They can't expect a gaffer to be like, go there, and if he's there, then you do this. There's so many different
But I actually
variables.
do think that there's, like, especially when you look at like an academy where they've got them full time, there'll be so much time spent on these rotations that the keeper will have in his head, if he's not there, then someone will be there, and if that's not
No,
there,
of
someone
course
will
it
be there.
But that the opposition, when they play them, like, this is what happens. When that's not on, they then do this. And if that happens,
100%.
they'll do this. But if this happens, using it, that's pretty much
No,
if,
I,
then,
I,
that.
I agree with you. I'm just saying that I think that they are almost robotic because they're told this is what's going to
So
happen.
systematic, right?
Aye.
Systematic, yeah.
That's the system that they're going to play, and these rotations are going to happen. So one of these is going to be on. But then, as you say, if one of them's not on,
It's quite rigid, isn't it? The structure
It's
for
so
the
rigid,
academy
man.
teams. Like,
So
play along
rigid.
if you have to.
100%.
Just play that vertical
Listen,
ball if you
man,
need to.
play along all the
The
time.
fastest way to go, if you see something that's
Yeah.
40 yards, go.
You've seen how quick and sharp some of these academy boys is. You can't tell me it's not on just for the centre back to just clip a vertical ball, go,
100%, man.
Aye.
just flip them around.
100%.
But they want to.
Your keeper's got a kick like ours. as well.
Have you seen our keeper? I've never played with anyone that can kick the ball that long.
Is that right? Aye.
Oh.
Reach the box like no bother.
Mental.
Aye.
80 metres or something. It's crazy.
wow.
Yeah.
That's because you've never played with me. 85.
What game have we we'll talk
We've
about
not
that?
touched Mountain Druitt and Western Sydney Wanderers, one each.
One each. Aye, that was. Oh my god.
I knew you were going to go back to that
I
moment.
mean, who
The
cares
hot
about
dog?
the two goals? The what was it, Pedrinho? What his name is?
Aye.
The Brazilian boy. Does a Cruyff from like 18 yards away for the guy.
And
And
he
he
just
stumbles
keeps
over.
running,
If
man.
you've not seen, if anyone's listening, have not seen this, go onto the highlights and watch the Western Sydney Wanderers.
It'll be a
boy
reel
get
very
Cruyff.
soon, though, won't it?
Oh,
Bless him, man.
absolutely tremendous. I mean, it's a very standard chop.
Yeah.
Aye.
I think the boys even try to do it in special. I
Yeah.
think just try to get out his other foot.
Yeah.
Absolutely superb. But I mean, good. Like Wanderers will be interesting this year. Had a brilliant again. Sparky, been new to you. Some A-League teams dropping that, like how it all works. But effectively, it's like in the Highland League, Lowland League.
Aye.
They're like Celtic 23s or Hearts 23s,
Aye.
whatever. Going in. But obviously, we've got less tiers here, so it can't really work that way. We've only got the A-League and the NPL one
Aye.
pretty much. So they go through the different NPL tiers, but the probably standard from like they're really young. A lot of the boys.
Aye.
Try to make that bridge that gap. But last year they had a really strong, like I think one of the boys signed for PSV off the back of it. Oh, he's on loan, Marcus Eunice, and they had a few other boys. Sapsford, he scored at the weekend actually. So they had some strong, and I think they won like I don't know 10 out of the first 15.
They were
games
winning the
top of
league up
season.
into
they were
around
winning
12
the
or
league.
13. They
Aye,
were smashing it.
smashing
Yeah.
4-0, 5-2,
Yeah.
6-1, smashing everything. But then because of the way the leagues overlap, some of those boys then have to go like to A-League camp or pre-season or whatever it might be. or they
Young
go to different
Socceroos
clubs.
as
Young
well.
Socceroos,
Young
yeah,
Socceroos. So there's a lot of
Yeah, Joey's in that.
it's obviously a different mentality because those boys are going, do you know what, I'm playing this game in NPL to become, my big goal is to become a professional football player.
Aye.
And this is my games to practice things, whereas if we're playing against them, it's like, we want 3 points. Not that they don't want 3 points, but it's a
different mindset.
Yeah.
it's a wee bit different, so there's a bit of chop and change, so it can be lucky to draw who you get on that day. You could play Wanderers in a game where they drop down some boys and it can be a day where it's a lot of youngsters. So
Why do they have the leagues at different times? Like, why does the country not?
I don't know, mate. You're asking that. I'm two people from Glasgow.
You're asking the wrong people, bro.
That would
that's
make sense.
mental, eh?
I don't know. There obviously is a reason for
There
it
is.
beyond real knowledge, but it might be a simple reason that they're just overlooking somebody shouting at the TV right now saying you're clowns. But
user idiots.
but there's a lot of questions when you come to Australian football. You'll have, mate, no doubt.
Sitting
Why is
again
the
at the
Dakota
end of
starting
the
again?
Do you know what? Actually, right, this is me just thinking about it. That you look at the obviously the A League runs through the summer. We couldn't run through the summer because all the youth and everything needs to play. Do you know what I mean in terms of those daytime kickoffs? So you look at if we just had a first team game, we could potentially play, but then all the youth would come out of sync with what the rest of the club's doing. It would just be a bit all over the place because it's too hot.
All right, too much nonsense. Right, we'll talk about the game again.
Back to business, huh?
Sydney United
Oh,
2-2.
big game that. Sydney United
2-0 down.
obviously
Sydney United.
Fancy that. They'll still will be strong this year. Probably one of the strongest squads
Yeah, I think
in
they'll
the
be good
NPL.
this year.
Yeah.
Another big club, Sparky, Sydney United. They've got like similar, like big fan, like decent fan base, like very passionate fan base. Got a lot of good players. Always in it about the finals, and then they signed very well this year. But Sutherland. Do you see that Sharks FC?
FC.
But do you see obviously the rebranded Sharks FC? But apparently they still had to be called Sutherland Sharks or something. Because of something. I was listening to one of the podcasts up the gantry last night on the way back for football, and one of the commentators mentioned that there was something to do with they were still called Sutherland Sharks, so they don't know if there's maybe an issue with registration. He was also saying, to be fair to him, saying, don't quote me on this, but it was written down still as Sutherland Sharks, but they done a big press release saying we're now called Sharks FC. So I've got no idea what's happening there. Again, a lot of nonsense, but they've signed well as well.
Yep.
2-0 up. Big goal. Was it an own goal, the first one?
Aye, Bailey Rose hit it off.
I believe it was off Adrian. And then, I can't remember the second goal. Oh, Wong. Cracker.
Aye.
That was the other goal I was talking about.
That was a good
He's
finish.
a good player. Do you know where he came from? Wong.
No.
Wide player for Sharks. Do you know this?
The name sounds familiar.
He played against us in pre-season. He's a good player. He actually crossed the ball in for the goal, the first goal as well.
Right,
Cracking finish for the second, and then the two goals, 5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
You see the goals?
I saw this.
No.
I saw both. The second one's a
goal's an
cracker.
absolute world. Mason Wells.
Yeah.
It's a joke because Nizic is a good keeper and he's
Oh.
massive as well.
Yeah.
Think what this is for the first goal.
Comes out for the cross. It's a hard one.
Shite bag.
It's a hard one, but
You're right, Nizic. You've got a big stretch. Nizic.
it's a big boy. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. I wouldn't go into that space. I wouldn't. But he's got about a metre on me. Do you know what I mean? Nizic is huge.
His stretch,
and
his reaches.
His reach is a lot bigger. So he's obviously seen it, thinking he can get there.
I felt
But the front post space is a hard space for a keeper to go into because it's always.
What did he miss time it or whatever the cross did he?
It's kind of as if he's got a flick on and then it's came off his hand and it's went to the back post.
Hard to see
Marginal, right?
Aye.
So,
Exactly.
That's goalkeeping, but into the beauty of it.
Well, good point for. Oh man, similar to your game, 2-0 up, 5 minutes to go. Even is that a good point?
And then
But
becomes
when away from
almost
home, it's United.
similar.
and
Yeah.
then becomes a good point for Sydney United, just like
Exactly.
the point becomes a
Exactly.
good point for Rockdale. At
Whereas
the
before the game, Salo would have happily taken a point, I imagine,
100%.
for sure.
Aye.
Obviously, we touched on Manly beat Central Coast Mariners 5-0. And your game, Spirit?
Spirit Abbey played Sydney FC. Pish game.
What was the score?
3-2.
3-2. We scored the last minute.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
It was to be fair, like Sydney FC had one of the younger squads out. We had a game plan to let them have like if Sydney FC if it becomes transitional against Sydney FC, they're going to hurt you because they're so young, fast, like they're good football players.
Yeah.
They don't really want to be in a physical battle.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're too sharp,
Yeah.
too fit, and they're all tidy as on the ball. So we just let them have it a little bit and try to let them not break us down because we were still quite aggressive, but sometimes they do run out of ideas if it's not transitional. So we'd let them do that first probably 20 minutes. We scored after 2 minutes. Had about 5 or 6 shots on goal early doors. Probably could have been 2 or 3-0 up. And then 5 minutes before half time, man, within 2 minutes, 2-1 to Sydney FC. They just talking about the sometimes going direct, just edge of the they were half on the
good
sideline.
balls into the
2
box.
tremendous balls into the box. Just
Oh,
in
they were
behind.
being a bit more direct, were they?
Well, it was like halfway line, just in front of the halfway line. The guy just, I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't just a hit and hope, it was 2 great.
Big
I think I
balls
saw it
from
actually.
deep.
Yeah.
An earlier one, wasn't it?
Earlier on, I could
Delivered in,
defend it, to
yeah.
be fair, but 2 finishes, so it's 2-1 up, and then we scored immediately. Afuka scored right after half time. Second half, if you've seen the highlights, it was literally highlight, 46th minute or goal. Next highlight, 92nd minute. That was it.
Who's the Japanese player from Wollongong? What's his name? It's him, is it?
I think he scored that.
Because when we played you lads, he's a smart player.
We've got two. We've got Kubo.
Yeah, I was trying to think which one it is.
Kubo's a centre forward in the 9.
Small one.
I think it was both small.
Taki?
Taki's white.
That's, yeah.
He's went to play against you. Aye.
He did, and what he was doing, I found it to be really intelligent, was I find that Spirit are always trying to make you guess in a sense as a defender. They're always trying to draw you out of your lines.
Aye.
Draw you out of your lines, and he was dropping in really deep, playing as a false nine or as a winger, inverting. He wasn't even looking at the ball. He was just watching me to see if I'd follow him. And I'm going, I'd follow him the whole way. As soon as I'd follow it in, play flick or play beyond.
He's
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's exhausting, yeah.
But that was a big vote. Like for us, probably.
That's a great start, aye.
92nd minute goal. First game of the season, man. He's won 3 points. That's it, man.
Positive result.
Oh, yeah, for
Try
sure.
to win, man. That's it. Like,
yeah.
last year we played Sydney FC and drew 0-0 with them. It was a very similar game. We got 1 point and you came off frustrated. It was 2-2 and you're like, oh my God. Don't get me wrong. If it finished 2-2, like I would say we maybe just edged it on chances. I think we had 22 shots.
Yeah?
But like, it was only like maybe three or two. No, it was decent. I was like a lot of shots on goal.
Not pop shots, though. Like, you good opportunities.
A lot more like straight down the keeper's throat. And we had 2 or 3 big ones, but Sydney FC had a lot of the ball without doing too much with it. So it was a funny game. I mean, so I think they'll be disappointed to lose a game.
Yeah.
But
Fair.
anyway, good 3 points for us. And what's next, Chaz?
Quick round up on MPL 1 in Victoria.
Oh, that's right. We're going to touch on that.
Obviously, after a 15-year absence for Preston Lions, they're back in the Victorian Premier League, and our friend Jason Romero with a goal and an assist.
Yeah.
Pick up 3 points in the first round clash against Hume City. Fellow promoted team Melbourne Victory drew 1 each with Altona Magic, so both the newly promoted teams getting something in round 1, which is positive. Dandenong City drew 3 each with St Albans Saints. Dandenong Thunder beat Green Gully 2-1.
Some mad names on it.
Mad names.
You got no idea what's going on now. He's still trying to learn the teams in our league.
Twisters, that, man.
Tongue twisters. Melbourne Knights beat Heidelberg 3-2.
Yeah.
Last season's minor premiers, South Melbourne beat Port Melbourne Sharks 1-0. And grand final winners Oakley Cannons lost the opening game 2-1 at home
Who
to
put you out the FFA
Avondale.
Cup last year?
Olympic. I used to play for them in Brisbane.
In Brisbane.
Brisbane Olympic.
Brisbane Olympic, that's right. Aye.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is this the league below?
No, that's
In
That's
Victoria,
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Victoria.
Oh,
It's
Yeah.
like the same as league you're in, but it's a good standard to be fair.
Yeah,
Good
Chaz
standard.
Jace did well, huh? Goal and assist
goal and
debut.
assist.
I don't know about the goal, though. He'll claim that, won't he?
100%.
He'll be invoicing the owner there, going, "That says my goal bonus."
Oh, mate, I'd be taking it as well, man, to be fair to him. They get some crowds at the game, don't they?
For
Aye,
sure.
that's great.
Yeah.
How
That's
many
great,
do you think at that game?
Don't know. Was it them that
Jace,
played?
Jace reckons 3,000 or 4,000.
It was
Not
them
bad,
that
man.
played.
Yeah.
And it's packed, it's like good sized stadium, so it actually looks full.
good,
Last
Aye.
pitch.
Was them was South Melbourne played them last year, wasn't
Aye,
it?
that's right,
In the
aye.
Silvia Cup.
Yeah,
It
yeah. I
looked
think
mad.
they packed it out.
Aye,
Yeah.
Aye, South Melbourne was the one. Ange was at.
Ah.
So they're a big club as well.
Massive. So we'll just quickly run through MPL 2 and MPL 3 results from the weekend. Newcastle Jets beat Inter Lions 2-1, their first, obviously, newly promoted team. So it's a good start, although it's a bit of a stitch-up. They played 5 o'clock on Sunday night in Newcastle.
I've heard that they'll play 7 o'clock
7
games
o'clock
in.
last year. That's a disaster on
You
a
can't
Sunday.
be doing that.
The Newcastle's about 2 and a bit hours away.
Did you see Hills United played MacArthur Rams in Newcastle?
You've done me.
House beat MacArthur Rams 2-0. ST Raiders beat Bankstown City 3-2.
Even he can't say it.
Jonathan Grozdanowski equalised for Bankstown City and then get sent off, and ST Raiders scored the winner in, I think, the 93rd minute.
ST Raiders just play right there.
Yeah, it was the one that. Yeah.
Oh,
played
they're
them.
usually quite good.
That was his debut goal for him.
ST Raiders are decent, good side actually.
That'll be right.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Bonnyrigg beat UNSW. We
Oh,
lost
Bonnyrigg,
2-1.
Tell us about that one, Chaz.
My mates, aye. My mates. Scored 2 goals in the counter, to be honest. Transition moments.
Oh, this is against shoes.
I
That's right.
guess us. But to be fair, we didn't create a hell of a lot. So as much as I think we had more of the ball, I think that it could have went either way. Do you know what I mean? They scored twice, we scored once. So they
Would you
deserved
say
to win.
Bonnyrigg are favourites to get relegated?
Those words will never leave my
Honestly,
mouth.
how do they look though?
The setup was quite interesting. It wasn't what we expected. They set up with a
What did they play?
very narrow. Like it was like a 5-2-2-1 or something. It was just literally giving us the width.
5-2-2-1.
Aye. So like the wing backs obviously were trying to provide the width, but everything else was central. So like our full backs could almost carry the ball halfway before there was any pressure on the ball.
It's a massive overload in the middle then.
Yeah, but that's obviously what we like to try and play, and we get caught trying to play basically, and so it's
Hard to
worked well
play
for
it. Hard to play on that pitch.
it's better than it was last year. Last year,
Was it?
it was
It gets
better than it
chopped up
was.
Was there a good
last
crowd
year.
there?
Pitch.
Decent, mate. A few
Because
hundred.
that's a Bond, they're a big club as well, man. Like that's
Massive
one of those
club.
clubs who like to see. Don't try and suck up their arse because it's like
Definitely not.
no, that's the same as Sydney United, obviously around the
Of
corner.
course.
Like it'd be good. You want to see these teams if they've got fan bases. Like for instance, smaller clubs don't always have a big fan base. There's not a ton, especially the newer clubs.
Aye.
But these older clubs who are in like mass, one of the biggest to win it. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
So
Well, I think
they've got a fan base.
they had like a family type day, so there was like a bouncy castle there.
At
There was
Bonnyrigg.
face painting.
Yeah.
So they're obviously doing bits and pieces
Yeah.
to try and get people to come down and be interested.
Well, do you
So
remember 10
the
years
decent
ago,
top
Bonnyrigg won?
I thought
Didn't they win everything?
I
The
think they
league and
did,
the
aye.
final and
Aye, so it's a big club.
Yeah.
do you call it a bouncy castle?
jumping castle, no?
They call it a jumping castle.
A
Yeah.
jumping
A jumping
castle.
castle.
What do you call it?
A bouncy
A
castle.
bouncy castle.
You were waiting on that, huh? The three. Yeah, you threw it. Yeah, I was like,
Yes.
what do you mean?
We're always outnumbered with these things. Northern Tigers, not a surprise, made a strong start, beating Bulls 2-1.
A lot of people I spoke to fans didn't win it.
Well,
Tigers.
Tigers, I said that last week, signed very well.
Yeah.
But then it's one of them that every year, again, we said last week,
Aye,
they win the
Tigers.
first 10, 11, 12 games, and then the wheels fall off. So
Who's that? Tigers.
Northern
Tigers,
Tigers.
Haven't they been close to edging promotion? The
So
last few,
three
third,
years-
fourth,
3
whatever?
years ago, they won like the years we get promoted. They won the first 11 games in a row, and then they literally went from like on a 19 game streak of no winning nothing, or 10 game streak. It was a shorter season that year, and finished 6th or 7th.
Oh, they shit the bed.
And I think they done the same last year as well.
Same
didn't
last year, mate. That's like the last few years, they've won the first more than 10 games.
Did they lose players or something? Or like
No.
was-
I don't think last year they won, but they won like they not won them all, but they done well.
But they
They're
were,
a good
they
start,
were
basically.
flying.
Aye,
Aye,
they're a
at
good
the
start. And they've usually got like they're quite a well-run club in terms of the coaches will try and get them to play good football. They'll
Yeah.
try and do the physical stuff properly. They'll have all the equipment and make sure that all the load management's right. They'll do the fitness right. They've got
They want to get promoted, it sounds like then.
they recruit quite well, but for some reason it just doesn't.
Nah, it falls away. It's
I
interesting.
don't know why.
Bankstown Berries beat Mounties 2-0. As I said, Hakoah, 10 men beat Dully 2-0. And Rowdomere and Spartans drew nothing each.
No.
Um,
I meant to ask you boys to bring something for St George for the studio.
A shirt or...
Shirt or a hat or a scarf or something like that. I don't know.
anything yet.
No, still
I'll have to ask AT. Yeah.
I need to get something for the studio.
Yeah.
Quick round off of NPL 3. Parramatta beat Inner West 1-0. Hurstville Zagreb beat Dunbar 2-0. Todorowski scored.
Who did you say to me that Zagreb signed? Some NPL one players.
They signed Luke Vasilica.
Yep.
And there was another one, I can't remember who the third one was.
No. So they won.
They beat Dunbar 2-0.
Oh, I thought Rossi scored. That's right. I seen
Aye.
them celebrating.
Hawkesbury and Bankstown United drew 2 each. Central Coast United beat Sydney Uni 2-1. Camden Tigers beat Fraser Park 5-1.
Fraser Park, by the way.
Struggling, but then
What's happened to them?
South Coast Flame beat Granville Rage 7-0.
Oh,
The Granville Rage not losing 9-3 last year or something.
First game of the season.
7-0 first game.
First
They
game.
lost like 9-2 or something last
against
year.
Mounties.
First game of the season.
8-2 or something, I think it was.
I
aye.
know,
It's not a
mate.
good start.
Oh.
No ideal. They ended up
And-
winning the league.
No way.
I'm joking.
And then Nepean beat Gladesville Ride Magic 3-1. One of the Gladesville boys that I used to play with at Rowdomere just came back from an ACL. His first game back, his name's Manlin Kosey. He gets sent off after 8 minutes. In his
Oh.
first game back.
On that note, actually,
Oh.
the cost. Somebody said Costa Petratus done his name.
Yeah, Kai, did you see what he put in the chat?
Nah.
Yeah, what, in the game was it, or
Yeah.
I think it was in the game. Was it early? I think Mackie came on for him.
you're going to miss the season, aren't you?
What a
Season's
shame,
just-
man. So shout out to him. That's a tough one, man. Good player. I like Costa. Good player.
Yeah, I thought he was good, yeah.
Aye, he's a good
Must
player.
be, see, the boys in this league obviously they're part time. Like, see if someone done their knee like that for like they're working that as well.
Aye,
I
it's
know it's
tough.
like full time. It's different, eh?
Mm.
Like you're still in
Yeah.
every day, but
Aye.
for them,
Yeah,
their
yeah.
jobs in that. Like, what would they do?
Depends, right?
Depends what they do for work.
Depends what they do for work, mate.
Wait, so if, say if you, or any of the
If
boys
that
you
was
played
full
with,
time, yeah, back
yeah,
home,
so
it's just it's no normal, but you're still going in every day.
You're training in the gym.
Whereas here, I don't know.
People
like
need
if
to
you're
earn a
a
living.
plumber or whatever.
Yeah.
Not
So
everyone
how
gets
does
as
it-
much money as you.
Oh God, don't know that.
How did it work? So if players were injured, would they be paid because I know throughout most clubs, most players would either get a base, an appearance bonus, and then incentives for playing. But
Nah, no, back in the UK.
Just a
like,
salary.
When you're full you obviously,
Yeah,
you get a appearance fee in that at some places, but mostly it's just basic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Regardless if you're.
does that filter down through the leagues? What do you reckon? Because I know some teams in the league they'll pay a flat rate, and then they'll honour a certain amount of games. If you're injured, they'll still pay it. But then if you're not in the squad, they won't.
Yeah, a lot of clubs is like that. If you're
Yeah.
not in the squad.
Yeah.
See,
be honest with you,
even if you're not on the pitch.
I think, that, in my opinion, the NPL, especially the low levels, the money's fucking ridiculous for some of it. For the levels, is scandalous.
Yeah.
Like for me, so if I was playing back home and I'm playing, you're not getting paid anything at NPL 3 level.
Yeah.
So was that amateur, like the West of Scotland League and all that sort of thing, or whatever else, like
they
Harmony
pay for
Road, Campsie
free
Blackwatch.
back
That's
in.
just, I mean, it's a very good standard, but you're not getting paid for it.
Mm.
And if you did get even juniors, which is a lot of the ex-pros and all that, and very, again, brilliant standard, you may get £60,
Aye.
£100.
Really?
Aye.
Aye, and it's
I
a good,
know.
mate. It's a good.
it's
Almost
good.
every player in the juniors will be playing NPL 1 and
It's
NPL
good.
1 probably.
Standard's good.
Yeah.
Aye.
And you're getting £60, £100. But that's enough for them to go. Do you know what? Petrol for the travel there.
Aye.
Couple of pints after the game.
It's just like that. Just good
Aye.
players,
It's
and they
football,
just.
and I love it. And it's just football.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And then
That's the standard's good. Like you look at your like Auckland, like Talbot and other
aye.
doing that, like
Big teams.
big
Aye.
clubs.
aye, that's
In
big.
Scotland, yeah?
Yeah.
League
In
1,
that league.
is it? Or
No, that's
Nah, this
juniors.
is-
Like
Not even
under,
professional. Like
aye.
so, there's like Scottish Premiership. Then you've got Championship. Then League 1,
League 1, League 2, yeah.
And the Highland League, the Lowland League. And then you've got juniors.
Then you get the juniors.
Ah.
The juniors I'm talking about, there's a lot of ex-pros and that will go there. Somewhat, honestly, very similar to NPL 1. I can't say exactly what the standard would be like comparison to because it's hard to say, but some of the boys there,
Aye,
very good. Like, almost every boy I know who plays juniors would come and play NPL 1.
Really?
Aye. But they only get, I
Yeah.
said, 50 quid, 60 quid.
Yeah,
But
right.
then, similarly, like, they could go and play, say someone could go and play Championship, but then you need to go full-time. You don't want it because maybe they've got a better job or family or whatever. Again, similar to here, you've got different reasons for playing the level you play. But I don't know. It'd be hard to say how it filters down for, like, compared to Scotland because it's the structure here's wild.
It's a bit mental.
But I think it's fair, the payments here, because, like, that structure of, if you're not playing, mate, you're playing NPL 3, you're not
if you're
paying.
not on the
Aye, you're
pitch,
not
like,
getting-
why would
Why
they give you money?
am I give you dough?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not against them saying that, do you know what, there's X amount to cover the petrol to get to training, etc. But
Yeah.
above and beyond that, some of it is scandalous.
I agree.
Boys playing NPL 3, getting, like, I remember in Fraser Park, when we were at Dunbar, like 5 years ago, they were getting, some of the boys are on, like, close to £1,000 playing NPL 3.
Sorry.
It's
yeah.
wild.
It's mental, eh?
Aye.
Well, yeah. That's,
That is.
And then there's plenty of stories about that across the clubs. Like, even Todd Roski last week, he was taking the piss. Like,
Aye. Aye,
the
there's
money you
too
get.
much money in it. Far too much.
yeah.
For what it is.
The more ethnic clubs I find will give it
Roll it.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and again, if a club's got the money and it's a big budget club and everyone's getting paid and everyone's scoring goals and doing their job, whatever, like, fair dues. But there's a lot of boys, my point being, who are doing fuck all.
Aye. If you're not doing it, you shouldn't get paid.
If you're not, you're not doing
it.
anything. Oh, you're on the pitch, but you'll see a striker. I'm on $1,500 a week. Ain't no worries. How did you score last? I scored 2. What? What? You're getting £1,500 a week
It's
to
a lot
score?
of money, eh?
Fucking nuts.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
A goal bonus is a thing at the pro level in Europe or England, the UK.
It depends. Some managers I've played under would refuse it, eh?
They didn't
It'll
like
sort of
it.
make you be selfish.
But
Like.
what about say, because I know how boys have done it here, is a goal and an assist is the same amount, but you want contributions or incentives to score, or
Yeah, again, I think
you know what I mean?
Every manager's different, eh?
And every
Some
player be
managers-
individual as well. Because
Aye.
we say Sparky might be someone who's, again, as a gaffer, you might go like, do you know what? I feel like he needs that incentive. For, like,
Aye.
Yeah.
maybe financially, or just needs that reward system. Like simply, like, defenders clean sheet bonus. I don't know how the defenders one is structured, but I'd probably that'd be the art of negotiation of a gaffer with it to work out the best way
of
of getting the
course.
best structure for the.
But you don't negotiate with the manager though. You do it with the board, right? Or your agent.
Agents mostly would do it, aye.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
Did you have an agent to
someone
get here?
upstairs. Well, it's quite a weird one, mate. I've got 2 agents. I've had them since I was 18, but this come for like just a complete random guy.
Oh, is it?
Aye, different agent.
Wee guy in the street just shouting
Yeah,
there.
basically.
St George, mate. Fancy it.
It come up completely random. It was like very last minute. Just a guy had got in touch saying, "Do you fancy go to?" Actually, cut a long story short, he wanted me to go to Cambodia first, but didn't work out. And he went, "Would you go here?" And I said, "Aye." literally 2 days later, mate, it was done.
Brilliant.
Aye, it's brilliant. Aye.
Aye. Is that the wrap up of the thing, mate?
Aye.
What about the goals? Who's leading the top goal scoring charts? Anyone scored 2 goals? No. There's a lot of, obviously one single scorers.
The boy from Manly scored twice. I can't remember his name, but one of the Manly.
5-0. You've got
5-0 again.
Scored twice.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So looking at, you want to talk about pre-season or just scrap that?
Scrap that. Day in the life.
No, that's after. Okay, so just quickly, we're just going to talk about Lightweight Athletic. Lightweight Athletic, well, we are sitting at the moment. Lightweight Athletic are sponsoring the podcast this year. They have got a Valentine's lightweight sale on. Just want to mention that.
It's a
By
day
the way,
with Dakota.
it's an absolute... you spend a fortune this year, big man. So Lightweight Athletic sale is, to be fair, an absolute belter. So the oversized shirts that pretty much all of us are wearing
These,
just
yeah,
now,
they're
aye,
nice.
no bad.
Yeah.
So they're giving you buy one and get another one completely free. So if you've got a missus or you're all palsy walsy with your mate, you can get one for your mate as well. And if you get it, you get a free gift as well. So you're getting, I think they're over $100 to buy them normally. So you're getting 2 for the price of 1, and you're getting a free gift. And then on top of that, you're also able to use the code CFS, and you'll get an extra 15% off at checkout. So that's for Valentine's Day sale. So that's available right now. It's live. So go on to lightweightathleticlub.com. You'll get a discount there, and make sure you use CFS at discount. So you're basically getting over $200 worth of gear for about $45, $50. So get yourself on there. Okay, Chaz.
Day in the life. So what does an average day for you look like, Mr. Askew?
Okay, I was going to ask Marky first, living in Chinatown at the moment. Been at Bondi every day.
Probably got, what, 12 hours looking in the mirror, and after that...
Yeah. I'm trying to sort him out, getting somewhere in Bondi. Yeah. Well, for me, my job is I work for a company that facilitate funding and provides support for patients under NDIS.
Right.
So streamline their quality of life. So day in the life is different. I have flexibility within my job, which I value incredibly. Stability and flexibility. So you might see me at the beach a lot of the time and ask and wonder, does this guy have a job or what? Or, but yeah, we do 3 nights a week training. So I'm casual on a full-time basis. Could roll into full-time if I want to, but I value having, obviously, fortunately, football's a job, and then working, having that lifestyle and flexibility, living near the beach and enjoying my time rather than being flat stick, coming to training and then you just
not performing.
You know what I mean? I still want to do well, still want to play well. So I feel to do that, something gives at some point. If you're doing, like, even though obviously we're semi-pro, if you're working, whether it's full-time or casually, I still feel in terms of the volume and the demands with pre-season, and especially how coaches convey how they want their players to be. I don't think any coach in NPL 1 wants their players just to rock up and be happy to train. They want high standards. I feel that we're full-time, especially. You think of the 30 games,
I agree,
and then you think of training throughout the whole year, pre-season, cup games, finals, playing more than A-League boys. Yeah. And if you're doing that and you're playing for maybe one of the better teams that are going to progress in the cup and the finals, and the standards are high and the intensity's high and you're working, something's going to give, I think, at some point. So for me, I value the flexibility. A day at work might be 5-6 hours, bit of a break, bit of a dip at the beach, coffees every now and then, training. Yeah, easy. I don't know about this guy at the moment. He's living in Chinatown, so...
Mine's the complete opposite. Complete opposite. Nah, mine's is... I've only just got here, maybe 2 weeks ago now? So I'm in a hotel. It's a bit... I know people are going to say, like, oh, a hotel sounds brilliant, but...
The Hilton, isn't it?
I wish. It's... Look, it's just a base for now until I obviously find something. But hopefully get something close to the beach. A few people are trying to help me out. Got a missus' kids coming over, so once they're over, like, more of a routine.
And enjoy the actual Australian lifestyle.
Aye. I've heard so much about it, mate, and can see even the short space of time I've been here. Like, see just a bit of sun, mate.
That makes a difference, doesn't it?
Everyone's just so much more happier. Like, you can actually enjoy life.
100%.
See, like, back home in the UK, like, you can't plan to take your kids to the beach or, like, do you know what I mean?
Every time I post something to the beach, he goes, "Where's that, mate? Where's that? Where's that?"
I just still can't. Do you know what? I lived in California a couple of years ago, mate, and that gave me a wee taste of like what
Yeah.
life could be abroad, like permanently. Like people actually do it. Like it's not
Where
just a
were you
holiday.
living? What area?
Orange County.
Orange County.
Okay.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Ah,
Was it near the
honestly.
water?
The OC.
Aye, no far. I was like 10 minutes, 15 minutes max.
Theme
to
song
dinner.
for the OC. $50.
See, I never watched it.
Ah, scumbag.
I know.
What was it?
I'm not telling you. It's a game.
The California song.
Oh, who sings it? That's a question. Too
Oh,
late.
who sings
Time's
it?
up. $50 gone.
What was it?
I'm telling you.
Game finished. I'm still not telling you.
Tell me.
Can't remember.
Aye, but OC was amazing, but that gave me a wee glimpse into what life could be like. The family come across there, and it was amazing, mate. Honestly, so different to life in the UK.
Yeah.
And probably like where I was at in terms of my career, it was like, what do I want? What's most important now? You know what I mean?
How old were you?
Probably. I was 31.
Yeah.
30. And I was thinking like, I'm definitely not going to get to the level where I was at. So like, what's then more important? Probably like lifestyle, family.
Stability and
so
change
I
of
thought
life.
Change
Yeah.
of life. Yeah, I always wanted to play abroad. Never really sort of had the opportunity. Never really looked for it, to be honest, when I was in England and that. Never really looked for it. It wasn't until I sort of started coming down the way, a couple of injuries and that, I thought, I want to do it. So got an opportunity to go there, and glad I done it. It was amazing, and again here.
Oh, it was Orange County. Is that USL?
Aye.
How'd you
Aye.
find that?
It was good, mate. Loads of travelling. Like, loads of travelling. Sometimes we need to leave on a Thursday, game Saturday night, and then no leave till the Sunday. Sometimes get home like Monday morning early. Like, it was some of the trips.
Flying everywhere.
Aye. Sometimes like
Oh, you'd fly everywhere, yeah?
like we'd just get the cheap option, so it'd be like 2 flights to the. To be fair, the club were brilliant, Orange County, like good people there. The English guy Pete who runs it, he was top man. Really good club, and amazing area as well, mate. Like literally, it was 10 minutes to Laguna,
Beautiful, aye.
Newport Beach, 15 minutes.
not bad.
LA, like I was spoiled, like, but
I thought,
amazing.
I mean, that part's absolutely magic, but see, like Hollywood and that, it's filthy.
some
Innit?
parts is that surprised me as well. I went, like you say, to go and see sort of the glitz and glam. And you turn up and like you say,
Boggin?
it's just homeless
LA.
people and
LA.
Oh, yeah, I went there with Jace Romero,
Aye.
actually. Yeah, you'd be surprised, eh?
yeah, some of the streets are.
We went there in September just gone. Went to LA for a night. I went to Vegas for 5 days, and we went to LA. We got like a house in Beverly Hills, but Beverly Hills was
Doing
like
well, this podcast, eh?
Beverly Hills. Was actually a punters group, but paid for it. So we had this gaff in Beverly Hills, but literally one street over
Yeah.
was wild, like Easter House in Glasgow. It was like just wild, and then Beverly Hills, and then another street over, wild
Impoverished,
again,
yeah, it's
and just do you like if you were steaming and you came home like like drunk.
Potluck if
And
you
you're
go to
just
the right street.
Take the wrong
Get done
street,
in.
mate. You're
the
like,
best.
where are you? I think I'm in Beverly Hills, but this guy's trying to stab us, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like, this place.
Life out there, like.
That is aye, but then Laguna Beach and all that.
It was
Yeah, we love
amazing.
that
That
bit.
was a nice area, Orange County. I lived in a place called Irvine. It was lovely, mate. Very quiet, very clean. Like, you stayed in like a, don't know if they have them here. Like, it was like a big complex. Like had like a gym, cafe. They had about
Aye.
5 different pools.
That's where you
And
stayed.
aye.
Oh, lovely.
And it was unbelievable. I had everything. Used to do like every like 3rd or 4th Friday night they would bring out like a big inflatable screen, and, like for everyone that stayed there, be a big massive like
Match
size of the
analysis.
floor. Aye, you know, seeing how shite you were for the weekend, and put a movie on, bring popcorn machines now. It was just all the kids would just be running about watching
brilliant.
film and that.
Ah, brilliant.
But again, weather again, like
Aye,
back
that's
in,
what I was
aye,
100%.
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's completely different.
Did you try and crack an MLS club initially?
Nah, I wasn't really at the level I didn't think, mate, for probably the years previous to get to an MLS club.
Yeah.
So that had come up, and I just thought that's probably where I'm at. So give that a bash, and I'm glad I did, mate. It was amazing, great experience.
Aye, quality, mate. That's good.
Brilliant. It's actually good to hang to. Good thing. We're going to go on to careers, and we're going to start with yourself, Dakota, career-wise. Upbringing. Just tell us about your youth football. Were you in Brisbane?
Mine's a bit confusing. I'm born in Melbourne, actually,
Right.
initially. So,
This is confusing stuff.
yeah, well, and then I moved to Sydney when I was younger.
Yeah.
Played my junior football at a club in Western Sydney, just
Yeah.
as a kid.
Yep.
Then moved to the Gold Coast when I was 7 or 8 until about 18.
Right,
Right,
okay.
okay.
And then started when the NPL initially started back in 2013, 14.
Yeah.
Sort of broke into senior football at 16, 17 in Queensland.
Yeah.
But it's not
Fucking hell, so you went from 8 to 18 Gold Coast, then you came to 8. Did you
Melbourne,
play
Sydney, and then Gold Coast.
So when you said you played the NPL when it started 2013, was that in Gold Coast or was that in Sydney?
Brisbane.
Oh, Brisbane.
Yeah,
okay,
well, it's Gold Coast isn't too far away from Brisbane, but a lot of the clubs in the NPL are based in Brisbane.
Yeah.
But the stronger ones were in like Olympic, the club that
Brisbane
beat us last year. Played there for a couple of years, changed clubs. And then when I was 18, I went overseas to an academy for 3 months. My dad is English, so I could get the passport. I think they still do it now. It's just under a rebranded name. It used to be called the Pro Direct Academy.
Yeah.
Cracking
pair of boots.
That's what I ordered my boots.
Yeah, well, that's what it was. Yeah, it was sort of subsidized or something, sponsored through that. But we were living in Spain, based in Spain, and trained every day. It was good. Yeah. Well, we played against all these academy teams like Malaga, Real Betis.
So you lived in Spain the whole time?
Yeah. Well, for 3 months at 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. So young, living in Spain, it was good fun. Just playing football.
I'm sure
That's that's it. That's all I was focused on. Still am. Then when I came back, at the time I could only go on a visa. I didn't have my passport through my dad. I thought, well, I don't want to, live on the Gold Coast or Brisbane. I want something a bit more than what I'm used to. I want senior football. I want a bit more of a challenge. Then I moved back to Sydney, found Blacktown City, 2016.
Yeah.
I think that was the first year I made my debut in the league.
Yeah.
Mostly was playing 20s, played in the, made my debut in 2016. Then from the middle of the year, I had an offer to go play in Gibraltar. Yeah. Which, you know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, small country. They got 2 divisions there. It was the top division. There was actually a team, because I didn't know anything about it, there was a team that the same year or not too long ago, I'd beaten Celtic in the Champions League.
Did you see that?
Do you remember that? Lincoln Red Imps. Yeah, so they played. They've only
Red
got one
Imps,
stadium in the country, a synthetic field right next to the airport.
Yeah.
It's a real small country, but the incentive for me was go there because I think first and second qualify for the Champions League or Europa League. That was never going to happen for the club that I went to, but my goal being 18, 19 is can I go there and go to a bigger team or go to a, living in Spain. It's the same thing, living in Spain, playing there. We played 9 or 10 games and there was a bit of a breakdown between the guy that brought me over there, the coach, and the board. So that sort of shit itself. And then I was left halfway through a season in Europe and thought, well, what do I do here? At that point, I had my passport and I was that close to England. I thought, you know what, I may as well just essentially door knock, go to the UK, stay with some family. I ended up signing for a team in the National League South, Pooltown.
Pooltown, yeah.
Yeah, so when I say I wasn't playing a lot. I was really only coming off the bench. We were running 5th, I think, sort of halfway through the year. So the manager said, look, we want to get promoted. You're not really going to play a lot. The team's very settled. Good experienced players, guys that had played Championship, League One. But for me, it was hard because I was sort of immersed in a country across the world at 19. Couldn't get my national insurance number for a long time, so I couldn't get work. So I was trying and bouncing off different things, trying to get different opportunities, but was playing a little bit. And then, it just got to a point where I'd played games and the manager said, look, we're trying to get promoted. We're going to run 5th, which I think puts them in a position for playoffs. And then earlier before the season had finished, I sort of reflected and thought, look, what's the point of being here? What am I getting out of being here? I'm not really going to play a lot. So I came back. 2017, went back to Blacktown. Had a really bad leg break, so I missed the rest of the year, pretty much. And I've just been in the league since. So at Blacktown, Apia, now St. George. So
yeah, you were 6 years at Blacktown, is that correct?
Long time. So this is the 9th or 10th year I've been in the league now. Yeah, so it's been a while since that. It feels like it's gone like that since coming back in the break. Yeah, but
was it a tackle?
Pardon?
Was it a tackle?
It was just really awkward. It was Manly away. Not even a collision. I just sort of checked my run across a player who tugged me. My foot went in the ground, my ankle, and it was like getting a bone, chicken breast doing that. You just know straight away. Yeah. That's me. So I've been in the league now for a while here. Still want to play at a high level, but whether that's possible or not, can't really rely on the system, I don't think.
No.
Yeah. So obviously,
But,
you were at Apia, as you said, you were 2 years at Apia.
Yep.
And then you moved across to St George. Was there, going from Blacktown to Apia, St George, what's kind of been differences club-wise?
That's a good question. I get asked that, and I think if I was to speak on the culture at Blacktown, I would say that Crito has done a very good job to cultivate an environment where he has players that have played there for a long time, that know the culture, that are very experienced, that sort of, I'd say, put in place this regiment where younger players know what they have to do to abide by the structure. To be honest, to be hardworking, to be systematic, and they're always up there, Blacktown. So I think it shows that he's a good coach and he knows how to create a winning environment. Blacktown have been good throughout the years. And then the difference between that to Apia was Franco Parisi was a player with a lot of the boys. For me, Franco was more of a manager. Hands-on in a sense where he's always there, was in the change room with the boys, loved the music before the change room. If it was quiet, he'd say, "Where's the music? Turn it up."
Okay.
Would go out with the players. So it's very different. But I think with Apia, again, highly integrated with players that have been there for years. You've got between Yuch, Temba, Josh and Sean, that's 1,000 games experience that have won everything. So they sort of run the change room. The coaches didn't really need to do anything.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say the environment was as stern or as rigid in such a way. It was very free-flowing. Anyone that was brought in was treated like anyone else. But again, high demand to win. I think when you play there, it's expected to win something every year. If you don't win, it's a shit season. Last year felt like a shit season when we only won the cup and got knocked out in the round of 16 because we didn't win the league and didn't make the final. We got knocked out. It felt like a shit year. And I think this year with St George, my interaction was a bit funny. I was on holidays and I was sort of without a club. And I spoke to Olympic, Marconi and Rockdale.
Did you leave Apia?
I probably shouldn't say too much about that. It was more of I felt like I was pushed out. I can say that.
Yep.
But probably wouldn't. I just, due to the respect of the club, I won't say too much more about that. But yeah, the options that I had were Olympic. Marconi and Rockdale didn't advance too much more. But the thing that I liked about St. George is they moved very quick. I spoke to ATEC when I was in Dubai and he said, "We really want you. We're putting together a good team. We're a highly aspirational club, even though they're not going to be in the second division. I can see from the trajectory that they've come from MPL 2, finishing ahead of clubs like Olympic, who are highly sustainable with the players that they've got and the people that they've got on the board worth however much. If you've got a club that have come up from MPL 2 that have finished twice, fifth, or finished fifth twice, they're doing something right.
Yeah.
So for me to see that, I think, and after speaking to Romero and a few of the other boys, they said that it's a good club. They're very ambitious. They're going to get together a good group of players. And ATEC made an offer, and it didn't take much to agree. And he said, you'll play every game. We really want you. You'll be important for us. I felt that confidence again as a player, which I don't think I had that at Apia for a couple of years because I was played in so many positions. It felt like I was used as a utility. They knew I could play there, so they'd put me there, and I wouldn't have continuity. And then they'd make a change, and I'd lose my spot. So I wanted to get back to playing consistently, and ATEC said, "That's what you'll have. We really want you. That's where you'll be playing." So that's why I felt strongly about St. George. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, bit of a. You're always going to have slight differences between clubs, but I feel they're on the money in terms of what they provide with the coaches, the support, the football. I think we're a good team. I think this year we'll run as a baseline fifth, only because we've finished fifth 2 years in a row. But I think if we use fifth as a baseline, there's no reason why we can't do really well in the league, have a deep cup run, or win a cup, or do well in the finals. I don't see why not.
Interesting this year. I feel like I've mentioned this maybe off air, but quite a few teams this year fancy themselves. I'm not saying you won't. I'm not saying Sharks won't, but a lot of teams who maybe aren't usually in that top four conversation do are more quietly confident. They might do better, like St George City sign well. Yeah. Quietly behind the scenes, like we finished fifth, but there's no reason why we couldn't go win the cup or finish in that top four. Sharks. I've seen a few things. There's a few other clubs in and about there who have mentioned like they all fancy themselves, and they're still going to look at Sydney Olympic breaking into that pack who missed out, and Sydney United who missed out.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a really competitive year this year, won't it?
Aye.
See how we go. Right, Sparky.
How long you got?
Well, mate, I ran out of paper in the printer, so I've only got half the career.
I only just did the last 2 years.
Yeah.
God, mate, honestly, aye.
Well, we've already touched on America, so we can start. Chaz, you can run through it.
Yeah, well, just look at obviously the upbringing, Scotland, and Hibs and Livingston were the two clubs I had here. Like, just tell us about your youth football, mate.
Youth football, mate. So I started off in Edinburgh just when I was 5. Like most people, your local club, it was Hutchinson Vale.
Aye, a big club,
big.
Aye,
club.
so probably the biggest in Edinburgh, if not like Scotland, are up there. So they're like really well ran. I was there till I was 10, and then I ended up signing with Celtic youth team.
Yeah.
10 till I was 13. And I always remember it was amazing. I was a Celtic fan. My family and that was Celtic fans, so that was like the best thing in the world, just to wear the kit and all that. Used to love it. But I remember getting to the age of 13. A couple of my mates were playing for Hibs, and Hibs had tried to get me for a couple of years, and I had been travelling through to like Glasgow for Edinburgh like 4 or 5 times a week. So when I was 13, like getting picked up for school, going right through, like I sort of probably got fed up with it a wee bit.
Aye.
So I ended up signing with Hibs at 13. 13 till you got offered a contract at school when you left school. I never got offered one. I remember being gutted about that. Like that
I was going to ask you, actually, that's a big question. Like, how did you feel at that age getting rejected?
Devastated, mate.
Aye.
Honestly.
Think your life's over?
Aye,
How
it was
old were you?
over.
13 years old,
Six-
life's over.
I was 6.
Nothing,
16,
aye.
aye, 16. Just about to leave school and you're thinking, got to get a professional contract.
Aye.
And thought I'd been doing alright in that as well, thinking great, can leave school, go be a professional football player. Then I think it was my old man. Was it my old man? Told him, nah, you're not getting one. And that was that, aye. Thought, fuck's sake, never playing football ever again.
I hate it.
Never, I hate it, I'm shite. But it's mad how it works. 2 of my mates were playing for Cowden Beef at the time, and the manager says, come along for a couple of games. Like, so went along there, done well. He was like, oh, just sign full time here. So I was about to sign full time there with, I don't know if you remember Welshie, Brian Welsh. I don't know if you remember
No, I
Welshie.
don't remember that.
He was the head of youth in that there. A different manager, but I was about to sign, and the manager says, look, I'm about to go to Livingston. Didn't he?
Go and sign here. Good on him.
Come to Livingston with me, aye.
Who's the guy for that?
Come to the 19th. It was a guy, Steve Forrest.
Oh,
he
I
was
don't know.
he was young at the time. So he took me to Livingston. He was like coming and train for a couple of weeks. So trained with like, I think it was in under 19s, done well, and then I was only part time at the time. I left school and I was helping a couple of guys I know fit kitchen and bathrooms. I wasn't actually fitting kitchen and bathrooms. I tell my pals that, but I was making cups of tea and that. But I pretend that I was doing kitchen and bathrooms. But they'll be laughing because I mentioned that. I love getting that in. So I was doing that and playing part time. They eventually offered me a full time, but the guy who took me didn't even stay.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, fuck it, I'll sign. So at the time, like looking back, it was sort of a blessing. They were in the championship at the time, but they were about to go into liquidation, or they were in administration, one of the two.
Yeah.
So I think it was administration, it forced them to go down to the third division.
Yeah.
They had to get rid of all the sort of older boys, experienced boys on the big money and that. So then all of a sudden, all the younger boys
Chances.
were getting a chance, mate.
Aye.
So straight away when I was 17, I was playing still youth team, but I was always up with the first team. I
Brilliant.
made my debut the first year. And I stayed there for a couple of years, mate, before I moved down the road.
Went to England after that.
Sheffield United, that was massive, mate.
So you went from Livingston to Sheffield United?
Aye.
Okay. That's a big move, that.
It was huge, mate. Sheffield United were in League One. Massive, great club, like brilliant city to live in. I remember sort of that being like the moment I thought, fucking hell, like I must be doing alright. Like
I was going to ask that, but I can't. So what year were you at Livingston?
When did I sign with Sheffield United? It must have been 2014, maybe.
I mean, Livingston
I made my debut 2009, maybe.
Livingston
2009.
Championship or SPL at this point?
Championship. And then
Did
they
you
go-
play any of the SPL in the cups?
I think we played Hearts. I scored against Hearts.
Oh, did you? Aye.
We got beat at Tynecastle, scored against them. I was doing alright. I was scoring, to be fair, at the time. Done quite well. Had loads of different managers as well, so I was like learning different things for different managers.
It's quite a big jump up for going for. It's unusual you get a player from the Championship in Scotland going to, like Sheffield United. That's a big move.
So, were Livingston in the Championship again when you moved, or were they still
we
in
were.
the
So
So
got
said.
two
two
promotions.
promotions? Right, sorry.
But I think so. The January time, I think it was a January. I'd actually went down to Derby pretty much and trained for the week, and I was got to sign there. Nigel Clough was at Derby.
Yeah, okay.
And the clubs couldn't agree a fee, so he eventually moved to, I think he got the sack or maybe left or something, Derby, and he ended up at Sheffield United. And then the same again happened. I don't know if it was the next game window or the window after. Ended up going down there, and same again. I ended up signing there, but he had like Ryan Flynn, Stephen McGinn, Jamie Murphy.
Right, aye.
So he used to say, I like Scottish lads because they're cheap and I know what I can get. That's what he used to say.
Well, he must have liked you, obviously, if he's trying to sign you at Derby, then he's
so it
moved
was good, mate. So he obviously did like me, but he was brilliant, and obviously a lot of respect to him. He gave me my sort of chance, and that's what sort of started off.
And when did you score your first goal for Sheffield United?
I think it might have been in that cup.
The Carabao Cup.
Aye. Against
You said
Mansfield. It was Mansfield. Who actually, Nigel Clough's actually the manager now.
And he's 1-1 now, was it?
Oh, really?
Chances of
There
that.
you go.
I'm sure it was, and I can remember he fucking slaughtered me after the game. Like, he just basically says you were shit. I'm sure he says in the press, like, that was the worst performance I've ever seen for a goal scorer. Like, I was shite.
Aye.
Like, came one of the games, but you scored and you walk
Doesn't
away.
matter,
Like,
right?
I was just say, as a striker, that's
Brilliant,
like
you
that.
walk
Anyways,
away
mate.
thinking,
Would
yeah,
you have
it's
played
like-
class of me? I didn't score.
I know. But he was just like, you always expect him, and probably like, that was his strong point. Like, you could get, like, that would get you fired up, I'll show you kind of thing.
Aye.
And try to do better next week. But they were a massive club. Used to get like 25,000 at games, and I always used to be like, used to love it. Like, it used to be brilliant.
And that's a match. You did play Sheffield Derby, did you?
Nah, never. They were, I think, Championship, and then when Sheffield United went to Championship, I'm sure they
get
maybe
relegated.
came to League
Flipped over,
One or
aye.
something like that. Aye, but never played that one. But I've been to one of the matches. Went in the Sheffield United end when they played away at Sheffield Wednesday. They beat them.
Is that a big
And
derby?
it
Is
was
it?
good. Aye,
Yeah.
2 teams in Sheffield. Yeah, big.
Sheffield Wednesday. Who's your favourite Sheffield Wednesday player of all time?
Don't know any.
Don't know any.
I can't think
Carlo
of
Di
any.
Canio?
Aye.
Benito Carboni?
Carboni, he was great.
Carboni was different gear.
Aye.
Him and Di Canio was there at the same time, I'm sure.
Were
Di Canio, remember he shoved the referee?
they? Aye.
Was that the end of his career?
It was close to, and I think he may have went to West Ham after that.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, right.
I think he went for Celtic to Sheffield Wednesday, actually.
Yeah.
Massive clubs.
Oh, aye, massive clubs. And especially that year Di Canio was there, Sheffield Wednesday was a bit higher up, I think.
They've got massive fan bases.
Aye.
Kind of like in around the city. That was probably the first where like people were noticing you in that.
Is that
It
not?
was, like,
Sheffield's a good night out, is it not?
brilliant?
I was going to say, I've been there before, so aye, it's a good night out.
Brilliant.
We got 5 minutes for
Really
that, or what?
More than 5
We've
minutes.
got 5 minutes, mate, but we can't tell it on camera.
We'll have to cut the mic.
But great city for a night out, mate.
Aye.
My pals, my brother and that used to run a bus for Edinburgh. They'd come down and they'd watch a game, get maybe the night before, and then they'd stay for another night, get a night out, and get a bus back.
Aye, brilliant.
It's
Aye,
amazing,
class.
mate.
And how long were you at Sheffield United for?
So I was there. The first season I done really well. I actually think the first season I might have finished like top goal scorer with Jamie Murphy or something like that. John
really?
Top. He got a move to Brighton.
He had a good
Right,
career.
so
after
Mulligan,
that.
a very good
He
career.
was flying. He was the best player by a mile. I was sort of in and out a wee bit first season, and then Nigel Clough got sacked. We got beaten in the playoffs, so it was a bit surprised, and I was a bit sort of gutted as well.
That
at
was
the
the League
time.
One playoffs.
Aye.
Right.
Thinking like fucking hell, he was like I was just starting to do well, like probably could kick on the next game season, and then Nigel Atkins come in the second season, and I think the first 2 players that I signed was like Billy Sharp, obviously a legend,
Yeah.
Aye.
great player, and Connor Salmon at the time,
Oh,
2
aye.
strikers.
Aye.
So basically, it told me like you're not going to play.
And they're different strikers as well.
Aye. So I
Aye.
was like, right, Sam, like I'll just get myself out on loan, and then I went to Portsmouth for. When did I sign for them? Like half the season. And that was again, mate.
Who's the gaffer there?
What a club! It was Paul Cook.
But
Cookie.
so Sheffield United, right? Big club, Portsmouth, big club. How did you find? Because Livingston is obviously not a massive club in Scotland.
Aye.
Like it's a well-known club, but it's
Aye.
not. It's a one of the
Aye,
smaller
small,
clubs. How did you feel like going to? It was Sheffield United that because at different time as well. Now everything's modern and massive, but
Aye.
maybe 10 years ago, how was their setup? Was their setup still class?
It's still the same. It's still good. I think they've changed it a wee bit in terms of like modernised a few things, but still the same training ground. Like everything. I think the stadium's basically still the same. It was class, mate. Very
What
good.
the Portsmouth fans was a big man there, the
Brilliant.
tattoos.
Aye.
Aye, he's a
Everywhere,
madman. Have you seen
Away.
him?
I think so. Yeah.
He's at every game. He's
Yeah,
got like
yeah.
the hat on, the
Yeah.
tattoos, top off.
Aye, they were brilliant again, mate. We were League 2 at the time, and they used to sell out every home game, and even away games. It would be quite mad because we would take more away fans
Than they would
some
have home
some
teams.
would have home fans. Like the
Ah,
fans
wow.
were absolutely bonkers. Massive club, And we got beat in the playoffs that year as well.
Wow.
2 years in a row. Playoff, in fact. 2 years in a row.
So you went to the playoff final 2 years?
No, we didn't get the final. We got to the semi-final both years. We got beat off Plymouth with Portsmouth, and we got beat off Swindon, Sheffield United.
How did you find the playoff experience?
Amazing. It was brilliant, mate. Exciting, like dead exciting. It was like.
Wait till you see the NPL playoffs, mate. Unreal.
No, but anything where you're playing like in a game that's like a big stage.
Oh, of course, mate.
To play for.
It's an occasion.
Big occasion.
You won it, didn't you? The playoffs.
Nah,
Coventry.
Coventry, I did. That was after I left Sheffield United. We won the playoffs there, Wembley, and that was special.
How you played at Wembley, yeah?
Yeah,
That's mad.
It was like, I think it was like 50-odd thousand Coventry fans.
Aye.
Like they were again. It was quite weird because they had fallen out with the owners. So like at the Ricoh Arena, it was obviously massive. The fans weren't wanting to come because they had this fallout with the owners. So like we were maybe only getting like 8,000, 10,000 at a game, like a home game. But away games, they were like selling out allocations in that.
Right. Okay.
Like, I think we played. I think it was MK Dons or something in a cup. They sold like 10,000 away fans. It was like 10k MK.
Wow.
In Wembley.
10k MK, not bad.
Aye, I know. 50-odd thousand. So again,
decent.
Like they were a massive club, but playing at Wembley and that, mate, was special. Quite surreal.
I can imagine.
Aye.
What was it like? Obviously, it's one of the playoffs is kind of one of the biggest events, let's say, in football. Like, what was the build up in that like for you? Like, obviously the semi final was that. Were you shitting yourself, obviously, in the semi final, having been in it twice?
In the playoff.
Aye.
Two legs.
So we played the first leg at home, and we were getting beat 1-0. It was lashing down, and we were better at home than we were away. And I scored a penalty. It was maybe a soft penalty. I scored a penalty. It was 1-1. So then we went to play away to Notts County, and I think they had like the best home record, and we had our away record was shite. So a lot of people didn't really expect us to win, but then we beat them. I always remember we had like a whole stand of fans. It was unbelievable. We went out for like a couple of days after it as well, because like there was a gap between the final. But I remember just the city was mental, mate. The even just getting to the final was like a win. I think they got relegated the year before though.
Right. Okay.
So like it was quite a big thing to try and get back up.
It's hard to do that, innit, for a lot of clubs.
It is, especially because there's so much a big club like that as well. So much pressure on. But it was amazing, and obviously the final, and then I had like an open tour bus and all that. Like,
How did you play in the final?
Too. And it was like we played Exeter, and we beat them. But
Score?
like, I never actually scored in the final. I got man of the match in the final.
What was it scored?
Wow, that's
We won.
better, right? Isn't it?
Man of match at Wembley.
Well, I scored,
Oh,
in the
fucking
final,
cheers.
That's
Not
ideal,
bad.
man.
Done alright. I didn't score. I scored the semi-final, but it was special, mate.
At Wembley.
My
Was
family and
that
all
new
were doing
Wembley?
that as well. Aye.
Aye, unreal, man.
It was
Unreal.
good.
I went to my big pals. Played with Swindon in Leighton Orient, and he was Swindon final against Millwall, and he got his tickets for the new Wembley. It was the first year in new Wembley.
Fancy.
Got his fancy eye. So what? Anyway, buzzing, blah blah blah. He's like, "Hey, lads, you can sit in this bit, have bevy, have some food, and then you can get out and watch a game." So when you're having the bevy, there's a lot of games still on that day. So we're watching the big screen having the bevy, but the rule was you weren't allowed to bevy, you weren't allowed to drink unless you were inside the room. So if you went onto the stand, you had to leave your beer in there. We watched the full game in the room. It was like 15 of us.
Just to get on it, yeah.
The whole
it's
section's empty. We just sitting watching. So obviously the TV's behind the pitch, which is
yeah.
just there. It was like, you still 1-1? He's missed it. It's like mental. He's like, how's the game, boys? We're like, brilliant seats, mate. Really good. Really good. It was unreal stadium, that. Aye. Phenomenal. But that's some experience, that.
It's unreal.
Wembley. Final. And was it 80,000?
I think there was like, say there was like 60,000 or something. There was like 55 Coventry. Like there was only so many.
It's brilliant though.
That's incredible.
You must have. Were you shiting yourself when you walked on the pitch? Were you all right?
I was sort of. I was a wee bit nervous.
Surreal?
It was surreal, mate.
Aye.
I was just thinking, like, looking around, thinking, like, this is mental. Like,
I'm a wee guy for Edinburgh. How have I done this? That's
how
class,
you
mate.
ended up here?
And what
like,
about that? And you probably don't have to give me numbers, but do you know get a healthy bonus for winning the playoffs and the promotion? Because I'm pretty sure when my pal was getting up, he was getting a
bonus,
healthy
League
doubling
Two.
doubling his salary from league. That was the championship. Aye.
It is double.
Aye.
Most your wage doubles. Aye.
If you'd have went to 200 grand a week, man, not bad.
But I think League One at the Championship's the bigger one.
Aye, that was a big one. Aye.
You get a bigger bonus doing that.
You must be thinking about that during the game now, as in like
Surely. Or a pen shootout or something.
Especially go 2-0 up or something like, oh, cheeky.
Yeah.
I can't remember how the score went. It was a bit of a blur, to be honest. It was a mental game. It was roasting hot. but we were comfortable, like, so we knew like it was quite enjoyable because we sort of knew we were getting promoted.
That's what I mean.
Seeing your mates in the stand and all that. And
we smell you on that.
See you later the night.
Where are we going tonight? Where are we
See you the night.
Book a booth.
But no, we honestly partied for, I think it was about 4 or 5 days. Like the club had something on.
Oh, did they?
It's
a massive
It
bender.
was just
How
it was
good.
mental.
Oh, the best.
There's a
mate.
video. Honestly, there's a video on Twitter. I need to show you. It was. We went out after the games in our suits in like a nightclub, and it was like a rave, and it was like me, there's a couple of boys on like some fans' shoulders, and it's like
Oh,
strobe
class.
lights.
That's brilliant, man.
That's superb.
Really good.
So how long were you at Coventry after you get promoted?
I was only at Coventry for 1 year.
1 year.
Got promoted and then.
What a year
then
that is.
left.
You went to Coventry, get man of match in the final and fucked off.
Basically,
Cheers.
mate.
And went to Reading.
Went to Reading. God, that's another story. That's
So I was
prob-
going to say, was that a bad move? Because looking at like obviously clubs, it was a lot of loans happened in that kind of period when you were at Reading.
Do you know what, mate? It's again, it's the biggest question. Even fans write to me, I bet you wish you didn't leave Coventry. Like, what happened after that? It's like, if I'd stayed at Coventry, like, could I have scored another 25 goals for 3 seasons, got them at the championship? Like, who knows?
who knows?
Like, who knows? But I would never have regretted doing it because obviously went to Reading, signed a 4-year deal, and then within that time, like, I went back to play for Hibs, who had released me at 16. Played for Scotland twice.
Yeah, San Marino in Kazakhstan.
Played for Sunderland.
Aye.
Like, do you know? So there was like.
So in that period of the loans,
Aye.
that's when you got a Scotland caps.
Aye.
So how did the
When you were
Scotland
at
cap?
Hibs, I think, aye.
Aye, when I was at Hibs, so I went for. I think my first loan was. Was it Reading?
But why all the loans? Why
Hibs,
was there
then Sunderland.
why was there so many loans?
Aye.
though? What was happening there?
Change of manager.
Man,
Aye,
okay.
Funny. I signed. I signed. I think it was like say the July time. Paul Clement signed me July 4-year deal.
Phillipsburg.
And then he was brilliant. God, some people would say that. But no, he was really good. He signed me a 4-year deal, and then a new Portuguese guy come in. Jose Gomez, his name was, and like all the staff had left. It was just him and his new Portuguese staff. And I remember the first day of training, he come in, had like everyone in the change room. It was like, right, I didn't know anyone here. Like everyone's got it's a blank page. Like go and show me what you can do. Like big names, it doesn't matter. Names I don't know, like everyone's like on a clean slate here. So I was thinking like perfect. Like I've just come off the back of a good season. Like I'm feeling good. Like I feel like I'm getting the team. So we go we go out to train. It's 11v11. It's like reading out the team sheets, and there's like 2 players sub, and I'm sub with like another boy.
Oh no.
So straight away I'm thinking like, fuck it. Like it is what it is. Like someone's got to be sub. It's not
Aye.
a good start, but anyway I got on, played the game. Whatever happened, and then next game day at training, it's like then sort of attack v defence, and he's like reading out the defenders like left back, centre half, and he's like right back McNulty, and I'm like that. I'm like that. McNulty.
That's a piss take.
Aye. I'm like, McNulty. He's like, yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm a striker. He's like, just go right back. I was like, I've never played right back ever. He's like, just go for now. So I was like, fuck it, is what it is. Played right back straight in, seen him, and was like, what's it? It's like the writing's on the wall here, kind of thing. I know it's
Aye.
early doors, like, but you know, like, what's going on? He's like, as a staff, we need to like look at your clips, come back tomorrow, and we'll like make a decision. So I was like going home to the missus, and I was like, this is what's happening here.
It's not looking good.
Nah, I need to go back
Full
in
back.
the morning. But saying that, I was thinking like I've just signed a 4-year deal. Like,
Oh really?
what's
Aye.
worst
Aye.
that can happen?
Aye,
Really,
exactly.
like, I'm
Aye.
covered. So I went back in the next game day, sat down morning gaffer, like how's things. He's like, yeah, like as a staff, we've like looked at it, like, yeah, you're free to go.
I was
Sitting
seeing
there
your highlight
thinking,
reel.
what do you
Pish.
type in Marc McNulty shite clips or something? Like, do you know what I mean? I was like, oh no.
Probably in that
So-
Twitter video.
I was thinking like, fucking hell. So I basically all the loans started happening after. It was like different manager, different loans. But good things happened in that loan spell. Hibs, Sunderland, Dundee United.
And Hibs, obviously, us being Scottish, would be interesting. Hibs, did you play in a Edinburgh derby?
I did, mate. Aye.
How'd you go?
Played in a couple. I think we won one. I remember we won one away at Tynecastle, which was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was mad for me as well, a bit surreal because I was from Edinburgh, so
Edinburgh,
I
aye.
know fans like used to just like can be in the warm ups and see my mates and or people that
Aye.
next door neighbours or boy that works in the local shop, like the chippy or like anything.
Aye.
Ken would just see everyone and you'd be sort of just like one of them, like. And I think won one, drawn one, and I think we got beaten one.
Did you score in any of them?
Nah, but a funny story about that. I had a penalty at home, and two of my best mates since I was 5 are big Hearts fans, and I got them tickets in the way in. So as I was warming up, I knew where they were sitting in that, just right on the upper tier, very first thing. So I took the penalty and fucking the keeper saved it. So I turned round and I seen both of them. Best mates since I was 5. Give me the fingers. I was like,
That's brilliant, man.
But it was good, mate. Really
It's mad
good
what
time.
football does to you in that 90 minutes.
Crazy, mate.
You just
Didn't care.
Nah, everybody. There's no personal relationship. But it's just 90 minutes. I don't like you, then I like you again.
What about the Scotland? Obviously, getting called up for Scotland. That must have been one, like a massive moment for you. But two random games. Kazakhstan. We lost to Kazakhstan, didn't we?
Aye,
I came on at 3-0.
3-0.
Aye,
Very
3-0
nice.
down, I've come on. Aye, I know. That's what it felt like. I was bored after, 3-0 down we were, and in like 10 minutes he was like, basically, Alec McLeish at the time was like, look, just go on and run about, get your debut kind of thing.
But how did the debut come around? Were you just trying different players around?
Do you know what I think it was, mate? I was actually doing pretty well, to be fair, at Hibs. I was like scoring, and I think there was a couple of injuries that were quite short, like up front. So got a chance, obviously. There wasn't a lot of people to be picked, but I was doing all right and got in.
Proud moment.
It was good, mate. I was amazing.
It's quite representing a country.
It was brilliant, especially because I had never been selected for like any youth team.
The youth teams, aye.
So it was never something I'd really thought it's got to be achievable, really, until I went to Hibs, obviously, and started scoring. Then I thought might be a wee chance. But I only found out through, like I've said this a few times before, I never got told that I was getting a call up or anything like that. I was actually out training with Hibs and I'd come back in, and one of the young lads had said to me, like, congratulations. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, you've been called.
You look good today.
You've been, he's like, you've been called up. And I was like, no, I've not. He's like, no, you have, like, your name's on the telly. Like, where you put your boots on and that at Hibs, like, it's like Sky Sport, the Scotland squad. Went in and checked my phone, and everyone had been
That would have been
texting
the
me,
best feeling, yeah.
congratulations. I was like,
Brilliant,
I was
man.
buzzing.
That's
We're
something,
buzzing for my family and that as well.
Of course,
it's
other
nice for
people, mate,
everybody.
rather
Aye.
you didn't really think of, well, I didn't personally think about yourself. I always think about like your ma, your dad, your pals, or do you know what I mean, your missus or your kids or whatever. That was good.
When that big, obviously very, very impressive career, players who stood out you played against, coaches, big names. Obviously, everyone loves to hear the good names you played against. You told a couple off air, but if you want to mention them.
We played against.
You said Gio Ferdinand was pure shite.
Well, he wasn't the best at that, but nah, I played against Rio Ferdinand when he was at QPR. Again, like surreal. I scored that day. We won. That was a cup game. I think it was the FA Cup. Sheffield United. Played against Spurs. Like they had Harry Kane, Kyle Walker, Ericsson scored a free kick. Was unbelievable. Played against Southampton. Manny was playing.
Oh, wow.
Aye. So like, they were just. There's
Van
you know
Dijk.
what it's like levels. No, he wasn't
No?
playing levels. Like they were just fucking.
When you played
miles
against
better.
those teams, especially, I suppose Southampton at the time, obviously it's a big club, but not a massive difference to Sheffield United. But did you look at Manny when he was at Sheffield United, Southampton, and think he's miles ahead here?
Aye. Like every time we played against a team at that level, you could tell they were just so in control. Like they were just so relaxed, mate. Everyone
was it?
aye. They just never looked bothered.
Aye.
If that makes sense.
Aye.
Of course, they were bothered, but they were just so mentally focused, I think, and switched on. Like they were just levels above. They were always steps ahead. They were never out of place.
It's like game intelligence and then that
Game
technique
intelligence.
under pressure as well.
Aye.
Like you're running full pelt towards him, it doesn't shift how that quality of pass is going to be or the decision making process. Well, you see it all the time. NPL, you ask, there's a lot of goals. If
Yeah.
someone you run full pelt towards a centre half in NPL,
Panic.
not every player's going
Not
to panic,
everybody,
obviously,
but-
but
No,
there's going to be the decision making process that's become a little bit harder.
Aye, definitely. Just the last question on that, those stadiums. What's the best stadium you've played in?
Well, I played in the Spurs old ground. In fact, I played West Ham as well.
Oh,
I played
nice.
West Ham at their old ground as well.
Upton
Had,
Park.
like, the I'm Forever blowing bubbles
Aye.
when you're walking out.
Brilliant.
It was
Oh,
unbelievable,
yeah.
mate. Some
Oh,
experience
that's
that.
superb. You've ticked a few wee bucket
Played-
list football
Aye,
things
I
off,
know,
like
it was-
Wembley, man of the
done,
match.
like, it's brilliant. Played at the new Spurs stadium, but only in a pre-season friendly when I was
Oh,
at Reading.
rubbish.
But the stadium itself was
Aye.
Aye, joke.
What about the pints?
unbelievable. Aye, the
Does-
port, you put it
put-
on the.
Just put it hang at pools.
Pause itself.
I got one at half time.
I watched the second half.
It was a good stadium, to be fair. Like.
That's superb,
Class,
man.
mate.
How do you? This last question on this before we move on. But what is how? I know you'll be probably kind here, but how would you compare? You obviously only played one game NPL, but you're training. Like you played across quite a few different levels, like Livingston, Hutchie, obviously Hutchie was a little bit younger, but then going through Reading, Southampton, you played a lot of different players, different coaches. your experience, it's only been 2 weeks, but where would you sort of? It's hard to
I
say
know what you're
compare.
gonna say it is compare.
I don't want to say compare, it's impossible.
It's hard to compare.
But would you like? Because I'm always interested, just because I want to just see how players. People always ask me how do I compare NPL. My pals back home say like, what, like how do you compare the level back home? Because it's different tiers we spoke about, so it's impossible to compare it to. But what would you?
Mate, it's hard because even playing Rockdale at the weekend there, like they have some really good players. Like I've no doubts, or even like our team here, that you could pluck boys for our team and go and put them at like a League One team.
Of course, aye.
Like, do you know what I mean? I almost think it's just sometimes like an opportunity thing.
Oh, of course it is.
Right environment.
Everyone always says that luck in football.
Like mate, it is 100%. It's timing and just like.
And where you are as well, logistically, like it's just unfortunate some of these boys are born in Australia, and this is the football system, and they've never had the opportunity to go there.
They've got a really good job and they're getting paid really well for part-time football. Like,
so why would
they go to League One or League Two
exactly,
for less money? Like, do you know what I mean?
I think that's like your stories are actually quite a good example of that. Like waiting for a passport to get that opportunity. So a lot of people can't even get a passport. So there might be opportunities, but they can't see them through because they don't have the right paperwork.
There's also an element of fuck it, I'm going to try it. There's a lot of boys who are in Australia, especially younger lads, who go, do you know what? I'm just going to go overseas and give a crack. But I know boys who went over, they get one rejection and just fly back to Sydney. It's like, mate, there's millions of football players.
Yeah, what do you expect?
It's not going to be that easy. You're going to have to take the ones on the chin, and then you're going to go through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's better players than you going through the shit. And that's that resilience, I suppose. And then the luck. And then playing well on a day, you get that you've got one trial session, you need to perform. Like we had Kikeris telling his story, we heard Costanzo telling his story. Everyone's got their stories, but it's like, how long can you... Like you've only got so much tolerance to rejection and so much tolerance to, or financially, how long can you travel Europe or bounce around or connections? But there is an element of going like, you know what, I want to give it a crack.
And what you say is true. Like you said earlier about Marcus Yunus, obviously is at PSV. Ollie Jones went to Randers.
Oh, Triantis is at Hibs.
That's it. There's loads
of
Aussie
Was
boys.
he in this league? Was he?
Aye, Central Coast Mariners, the academy. Aye.
So there's loads of boys that, as you say,
he's standing out.
He's doing really well, mate.
Very well the name,
Yeah.
He's doing very well. It's like
Scotland.
as in like around the fans as well. The fans in Scotland are very fickle, but they love him as well. He's
So
doing
if you
well.
impress them, you know.
He
you're
played
doing
here
well.
2 years ago.
Really?
Aye. So there's a lot of boys, that, like especially younger lads, who could easily go over there. I think there's a good wee connection between Australia and Scotland. There's been a few players that went over.
Cammy Devlin was there.
Lewis Miller.
Bacchus was there.
Kai Rolls.
Right. There was loads of been a few.
Mate, do you know what I think as well? It's like there's always like a snobbery, like some leagues. So like, say like English League One will be looking at this thinking that's shite. But this league will be looking at another league.
It's the
thinking
Celtic and
that's
Rangers,
shite.
though.
Like,
Celtic.
It's like that.
Yeah, but I always think this like at every level they'll look at another level, looking down on it. But there isn't that. Like,
It's like Celtic and Rangers very. I think that like recently, they don't sign as many players as they maybe once did from other teams in Scotland, and it's almost like we're a bit better, so we don't need. But there's a lot of players that
I think that snobbery, the snobbery side of things comes from, again, not like you've been through a lot of those different levels, so you can be like, there's not much of a difference between this guy at Reading and this guy at Sheffield United. Like really, if you put him in that environment with that gaffer, and he had a wee bit of confidence,
100%,
and then vice versa. So, and the gaffer makes a difference as well, as you said.
Somebody believes in you, mate.
That's it. Well, like Chaz, we'll crack on to the last little bit. So I'm interested actually quickly on St George, just interested St George banter wise, like people in the change room, characters. Who are some of the big characters in the St George changing room? Who's a joker?
I'd say, I'd take the piss probably a lot. Yeah, me and Kaio, Dakota, Puppy. If he hears this, he'll want to be known by that.
What's his name?
I still don't know. I just call him Puppy because he's a dad.
Oh, do you? Yeah,
shaved head, bald head at 25. He's just...
Is that centre half?
Yeah, the lefty. Scored on the weekend.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I
Look, I wouldn't...
When he scored.
Is the one that clipped the ball in for the pen?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't... I feel like...
It's quite a chilled day.
It is. It's very quiet. But I feel like the boys, from what I know, are still a little bit suppressed because of how the environment has been the last few years there.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas Manny seems to be a little bit more willing with things. No, but I think all the lads are good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Everyone gets around it. Everyone gets around it. It's more on the conservative, quiet side.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm comparing that to Apia, where there's lunatics everywhere.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
What do you think?
Yeah, it's chilled.
Yeah.
From the changing rooms, I've been like so quiet guys. Like
What about shite gear? Who's got the shitest gear? Clobber. Apart from you, obviously.
Yeah, apart from me.
Who's second? Second check
I don't know.
Still early
There's a
days,
few.
I don't
Yeah,
really
it's
know.
too early. It's early days. We'll see on a team night out. We'll see how we go. Yeah.
Did you have a team night out in pre-season?
To be fair, we went up to Newcastle.
Yeah. I think everyone did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, we were actually going to go to Canberra, and that was going to be for a couple of days. I think that would have been better. Because,
Better?
well, only because for Newcastle, they wanted us there on a Friday night. Everyone got there really late. Saturday game early.
Then home.
And then everyone was just fucked because of the weather and the
okay.
congested. Everyone came straight from work, team
On the
meeting,
Friday,
went to bed,
Yeah,
game. Everyone was tired, went to the beach. So there wasn't much of it, but I think when it's right, yeah, we've got to do some. I've got to do some organising, team night out.
Nah, good mate.
Yeah, it's important. I think it's
So
just.
are you taking that responsibility?
Nah, it's not me that's social. I think it'll be Solly.
Oh, okay.
Solomon. Yeah, I think he's the skip at the moment. So
Brilliant.
surely, yeah, we're due. I think very soon, especially after a win. How good is it? You know.
Oh, it's
A good win, you know, get everyone to
Yeah.
go out, bit of fun. Yeah.
Pre-season one's good.
I do.
Yeah.
Before we go into predictions, Pirates of the Caribbean.
How'd you know that? How'd you know that?
I know
A
things.
bit of research,
A
huh?
bit of research.
What's the
no idea
question?
what that
What's the?
Just tell me about it.
Okay, so when I was, what'd you say?
I have no idea what he's going to
Oh,
talk
okay.
about.
I casted in that when I was 18, I think. It was filmed on the Gold Coast because maybe 10 years ago I started doing some film, TV. It was my mum that gave me the push. Mum said, you got to do it. I reckon you get a bit of work. So props to mum for that.
Unbelievable.
It was Dead Men Tell No Tales. It was 2015. So Johnny Depp wasn't there.
So you filled
But
in?
hey,
You filled in?
I was there. I was there for 4 days. My role, I don't remember the name, but I was a Monarch soldier. So had to audition, learn how to shoot a gun, like a shotgun on set. But a few, what's her name? Kaya Scodelario. What's her name? Kaya.
But you're on the set,
actress.
mate. I don't know.
No.
We're not in the movie
No.
business, mate. We don't know.
Nah. Well, she was there. Javier, there was a few big stars were there, but I was just fortunate enough to be picked for the audition that I did. I got picked, so got casted in that. That was a good experience for a Disney movie.
Brilliant.
But yeah, that was a while ago. I don't know how you found that one out. You've done a bit of research.
A
Huh?
wee bit of looking into it, mate.
Bit of research.
Brilliant, man.
Yeah,
That's
that was a while ago. But yeah, really good
good.
experience.
Not many
Just-
people can say that, eh?
Nah,
From
well,
a
yeah, I
Disney
guess
film.
so. I guess so. So yeah, if you
that's
want to
mad,
watch it, you'll see me get killed. I think
Oh, I could
by
watch
one of
that.
the ghosts.
May watch that tonight.
One of the ghosts in the movies. Yeah.
Brilliant, isn't it? In your hotel,
Yeah.
sitting
It's
there.
unreal, man.
And he's there.
Yeah.
Class. Well, looking at predictions for this weekend, so
Sparky, you would do this, mate.
you'll have no idea what's happening here, mate.
His name I like.
So last week, Seka got 7, I get 6, Gary get 5, and Marco finished with 4. So
We tally up at the end of the year, mate. And
Alright.
Do you
see
do?
wins.
Is it wins or correct scores?
No,
Nah,
just
just
wins.
wins. Just pick a winner.
Just pick win,
Wins,
lose, or
draw, loss, or
Aye.
mate, we
It's-
struggle to pick the bloody team that's going to win. Never mind a score.
yeah.
No one's ever got
Fucking hell.
12. I think we've had 11
We've had
before.
11, aye.
Who did that?
I think I did 11.
did
I think I did 11, aye. And I think somebody done 9. One of the guests done 9.
All right, let's do it.
No pressure.
No pressure.
So Manly at home to Sharks.
What do you reckon?
Manly win.
Manly.
Manly home Sharks. I think 4 of the first
Win,
5
draw,
Mulligans
loss.
are at home.
Win, draw, loss. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna
A
say, you
draw,
can't say
I
3 or
think.
3, mate.
Covering his bases. You think?
I want to go Sharks.
Sharks. I've went Manly. Just because everyone says it's hard to go to Manly on a Friday night.
It is. It's a different world.
Aye,
eh?
aye, it's a tough
Yeah.
one.
Mount Druitt at home to Marconi.
Marconi.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
I'll go
Marconi.
Marconi as well.
Yeah.
Same.
Jake True told me he'd get a double, so
Did he play the weekend?
No pressure.
he played,
Aye,
but he
played.
says he reckons
He's not
he'll-
playing as a 9 though, is he?
No, I played in the
Didn't he?
left.
He's playing the left.
Played in the
I
left.
think Damien Sekenis plays set 9.
He did.
Aye.
And then
okay.
yes, he's played in the 10.
Well, he's promised me 2, so we'll see.
We'll
I'll go
see,
for the
aye.
win for Marconi.
Marconi. St George versus Rockdale. Other St George.
Rockdale.
That's St George. I'll go Rockdale, aye.
Rockdale.
Especially after
Yeah.
dropping points.
Yeah,
We've all
Rockdale.
went Rockdale. And Sydney FC at home to Sydney United.
Sydney United.
Yeah, I think Sydney United will touch him
Go
up.
FC.
Yeah?
Just 'cause
You
I
sure
know-
about that?
Just because I know it. Sydney FC.
Yeah.
So I've went Sydney United as well.
Yeah.
Bulls at home to Berries. NPL 2 now, so you'll know
Bulls.
more about this.
Bills, I'll go Bills.
Bill's a better name. Bill's strong team.
Bulls and berries.
Bulls and
Bills
Berries.
will battle the
It's not a joke, I promise.
Bulls. Yeah, Bulls, I think. Yeah.
I've went Bulls as well. Spartans at home to Newcastle Jets.
Spartans.
Spartans. I played with Spartans. My father-in-law's a manager. Spartans in
And
Scotland.
Edinburgh, aye.
Edinburgh.
Oh, I see. Aye.
Aye.
So I take it you're going Spartans then?
Aye.
Is it at Spartans?
It's at Spartans, aye.
Strong.
I'll go Spartans. Their home pitch is not great, so
I'm going Spartans as
I
well.
can't believe they get Newcastle playing on a.
I know.
Do they do that on a Sunday night or whatever? Is it? I've heard some 7 p.m. or
Aye,
whatever.
so the Newcastle's games last year were all 7 p.m. on a Sunday night. And then
Scandalous.
that's rough.
You'd be getting home at midnight.
Midnight
it's
before
scandalous,
work on a
that.
Monday is
Yes.
too much.
When did the 20s play? They must play before.
Surely.
No, so if it's one's 5 and one's 7.
Yeah.
So the 20s will play.
Is there any
potentially at 5
restrictions
o'clock.
on P-platers when they have to drive? No.
If you're a red plater, I think that you can only have one
passenger?
immediate family member or a passenger after 11, something like that.
Imagine that.
Something like that.
Dad, you need to
Newcastle?
stay here because I
I
can't
can't
go
go
take
home,
my
man.
mum.
Yeah, well, yeah, they do that.
I mean,
yeah.
the driving here's mental compared to back home. Mental. Like back home, probably different now in the UK, but when I was growing up, it was just if you could book a test, you could sit the test.
Aye.
Yeah,
That was it. So I could turn 17, was it?
17.
Turn
aye.
17, just book a test first day if I wanted.
Yeah.
And no hours under my belt. But
Aye.
then I think now there might be some sort of accumulation of hours.
Ah, I've no
Whereas here you
idea.
need to accumulate hours. You're on a red
Oh, do
plate,
all
then a
these
green
tests.
plate, then you can't go
Aye,
over these rules.
Aye.
It's good. It's for the better, obviously, but changed.
Hakoah at home to SD Raiders.
What was that? How close got the weekend?
They beat Dulwich Hill 2-0.
I'll go draw.
Draw. Raiders.
I'm gonna say Hakoah. I'll tell you why. Whenever they seem to go up, the ball boys go missing. The ball start rolling away 100 meters. Fuck, it pisses me off. You play the, you know what I mean? If they have ball boys or you know what I mean, the ball boys go missing.
And because it's at Hensley, they go
oh,
far
the
away
wind
as
and
well,
the
man.
balls go missing for 5
Aye.
minutes.
Don't mind it.
Did you lose that game?
Did, when we played them,
Aye.
I think we did. That was my
Aye,
debut for Blacktown in
like you're angry about it,
2016.
so that's why.
We were 2-1 down. I remember the ball boys just went missing. Yeah, the ball boys went deaf, I think.
Round
Or
the
blind.
track.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I've went to ST Raiders. Bankstown at home to MacArthur Rams.
Bankstown City.
Bankstown City.
Yeah, I'll go Bankstown.
Bankstown. Good team.
Tell me about them.
Strong at home. Aggressive.
I've went Bankstown as well. Actually, a good game. South Coast Flames in NPL 3 versus Bankstown United. They were like
South
maybe
Coast. I'll go South
second
Coast.
and third last year.
South Coast Flames a bit of a trek, isn't it?
I've
is.
about as much of an idea as what you
Did we
do.
just say Bankstown there?
There's a Bankstown City Lions in
Ah.
NPL 2 and a Bankstown United in NPL 3.
And a Bankstown Berries as well.
Fucking hell.
No,
And a Bankstown Thunder.
Yeah. Oh, geez, yeah, South Coast. I'll say South Coast.
South Coast.
Where do
I'm
they
going-
play?
I'll stick
Where's
with
their venue?
Bankstown
Then
again.
Wolves.
Near Wollongong. Aye.
What's the stadium?
I don't know. I can't remember the name
I
of
can't
it.
remember it.
But I played it. We played on the cup last year. I can't remember the name of
South
it.
Coast. Who'd you go?
Bankstown.
Is it
Bankstown.
grass?
I've went
They've got a
draw
grass and they've got a little synthetic as well.
Oh, okay.
But I don't. We played on synthetic.
and South
We played.
Coast.
We played Wolves on it actually.
Nepean at home to Camden. Both teams won at the weekend.
Draw.
Draw. I have not a fucking
I'm
score.
going Nepean.
Camden.
Camden.
Strong team.
Draw. Dunbar at home to Fraser Park.
The Scottish team, is it?
No.
Dunbar.
Dunbar.
Yeah, Dunbar
How many
for
other
me.
games are left?
Two.
Two more.
Dunbar.
Dunbar. I'm going Dunbar as well. And then Prospect at home to Hawkesbury. Prospect didn't play last week, because they've got that bye. There's a bye in NPL.
They'll be fresh.
Why
aye,
do
let's
they
go
do that?
Prospect.
There's a bye in NPL 3. There's only 15 teams.
Why is that? Don't we've got 16, one and two. What?
So remember, what was that team? They were talking about it last
Western
week. It was
Mariners?
far away. Western Mariners was like 5 hours away.
Western,
Sheffield
fuck,
Mariners.
Western
You said
Rage or something.
I think I think you might be right though.
Western New South Wales Mariners.
Aye.
Aye.
So that was
Played
like
Mudgee.
5
Yeah?
hours away. They used to be in the league.
Really?
Aye, aye. I've been up there a couple of times.
Aye.
And they were terrible. You drive up to Mudgee for 5 hours, win 9-0 and drive back. Or you'd win like 5 or 6-0 and drive back.
Aye. So
Fuck.
that's no longer a team.
So they just sacked it.
Aye.
so
It's hard to get
15
players in it.
teams.
It's a waste of time. Yeah.
By the way, I'm going. That should be as well staying overnight. If you
Who's
go down
gonna exactly?
there. So there's only 15 teams. So Prospect had a bye last week.
I'll go. That'll be nice and fresh, won't
Is
they?
that
No
it?
niggles.
Yeah.
Prospect. I'm going Prospect.
No hammies or groins. It'll be all good.
No,
They'll be
you
fresh
going?
to go, aye. I went Prospect.
Everyone's went Prospect.
Yep.
Fresh.
Done. Thanks very much, boys.
Pleasure.
Appreciate
Cheers,
it.
lads,
Thanks
for
for
your
your
time.
time.
Appreciate it. Aye, good.
Thank you.
Class all the best at the weekend.
Can't wait to get
Be
the
good
show
on
from
Friday, yeah.
Aye, it's
Bit
warm.
warm, huh?
Turn the aircon off.
Yeah.
That light is right on you as well.
Done. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Thanks for that. It was good.
That is all me. I was sweating as well.
Yeah,
Man.
look at that.